Good evening then, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the DatGuyVince We are about to get underway here in qualifying number one, of course. We've got 3 qualifying sessions as it is the full qualifying here. So we've got 3 qualifying sessions, 18 minutes, 15 minutes, and 12 minutes for all the drivers to set their lap time. I'm joined today with our co-commentator, Evil. Good evening, Evil.
Good evening, mate. Good to be here, and hopefully we're due for some exciting racing. It's going to be a long race after all.
Absolutely, yes. There's 50-odd laps here we got in code, so of course we are doing this just in time for the Iro Grand Prix, so might be a bit of foreshadowing here, but we'll run through the entire grid lineup for you guys then. So going out of the track first, actually, is one of the Alfa Romeo. Jamie Mills heading out on track first of all for us. We've also got in the other Alfa Romeo, Lil Carlos in the Alpha Tauris. We've got Alex Bud, of course, and we have Razin alongside him. In the Haas, we've got Grande JG, and we have Average Joe, popular Twitch streamer, of course. All of these guys are going to be streaming their own POVs as well, so make sure you do go and check these guys out. Of course, Dirk Chocolate in the Red Bull alongside him will be in Fratic. Both those guys are also streamers, so Dirk Chocolate is, of course, the host of this league. In the McLarens, we've got Destined, PRDM, and Stefano. In the Mercedes, we've got Liam and Savso. Alpines, we've got Artem, TTV, and we have Hayden Gullis, another very popular Twitch streamer and content creator. Very excited to have him in here as well. We've also got Bush Jens involved in this as well, so lots of very entertaining content creators. This is a very content creator type league, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. A lot of them have been joining recently, and currently what I got to point out is that Grande is actually on the intermediates. He's doing what the esports drivers
do. Yeah.
Yeah, just testing the setup, seeing if it works. Maybe he can get provisional pole, and yeah, speaking about Jamie, we were talking about before. He's quite a fast driver. Obviously, I'm actually teammates with him in LFR, but like he is incredibly fast, and he's a good shout for maybe to get pole and win this race.
Yeah, we've got a lot of very, very talented drivers. I have Retanius, who was in my... Retanius is in 13th moment, the Ferrari. We have Retanius in here who was saying in my chat yesterday that he was very excited to be going today. He thinks he can try and get a big result. So very interesting to see how Q1 will go, of course. As Evil said, we've got plenty of drivers probably starting on the intermediate tyres to try and get that early banker lap in, get the Delta in. But we should be seeing our first laps coming very soon. Who that will be, we are yet to find out. But it'll be very exciting to see who will get this pole position.
Yes, indeed. As now Jamie is actually beginning this lap into turn 1. You really need to get that correct. If you don't, you're going to lose a ton of time. But now we're going to head into the famous S's right now. Hopefully it doesn't invalidate, because it's pretty easy to invalidate when you go over one of those sausage curbs. But currently he's doing that all fine.
Yeah, lovely and smooth through Sector 1. Of course, set the purple sector early on, the first one to do so. Let's see how his time will be as he enters now through Sector 3. Very easy to validate around there as well. Goes very wide off of the right-hand side there. Does manage to keep it valid, though, so must have gave the time back that would have let him a little lock up as he heads towards the hairpin. A very easy corner to lock that up in, and it's all the way, a straight line all the way down towards turn 12. Got to get it right. Takes a little bit of a slipstream off the McLaren. The RS wide open as he heads down towards what's your braking point on the right-hand side. Hard braking down towards the hairpin. Another lock up on that rear right, but does use a lot of the inside curb, which can gain you some very valuable time. Talk us through this final sector, Evil.
Oh yeah, as he's heading through this tricky final sector, traction is very important here, especially as the car usually feels light as you go through these quite nice flowing corners. But here we go. Now he's going to head through this triple right-hander. As we saw in 2017, Max Verstappen made the move on Kimi Raikkonen, but obviously he didn't do it in track limits and had to lost that podium due to a 5-second time penalty. But here we go through the final corner now. Let's see what he was.
Little lock up.
A bit wide. Yeah. And
across the line.
33.5.
Not a bad lap, that. Not a bad lap from James to set us going for our first qualifying session here in Kota. Lovely bank lap to set the benchmark in as he moves over to the side. Let's see who else is on a lap right now. I believe we have the McLaren of Destined going on a lap right now as he heads down towards the final corner. He's got an AlphaTauri right behind him who will be starting a lap as well. Across the line goes Destined. He goes for a 36.6, a bit off the mark moment. Alex Bud in that AlphaTauri finished on a 35.2 on his opening lap. Let's see who else is on a lap right now. Kuntz is back. He's currently in the Aston Martin. He is treacherying through Sector 3 at the moment. Hayden Gullis, 40.6 so far, so I guess only a bank lap from Hayden. Otherwise, it'll be a bit of an underwhelming lap.
Yeah. He might have made a mistake. It's quite easy to make mistakes.
Oh, and there goes Kuntz. Round he goes in Sector 3. In the same place as the Max Verstappen that you say got his 5-second penalty. Kuntz getting a little bit too happy on the throttle in the car. Not liking it, and around it goes. And he'll assumably be heading to the pits, and he goes round again.
Ooh, he's done it
One more
again.
time. Yeah, those rear tires are going to be absolutely melted now. So he's going to have to dip into the pit lane and put a new pair of boots on.
Yeah, especially through that corner. If you don't have the rear end or the rear downforce, you're really going to feel it on the car and on the tyres as well. And yeah, the tyres must have just given up there. He might not have that rear grip. So who knows? He might need to lift during the remaining qualifying laps.
And of course, he can't change the setup now either with the park flare being on. So that rear wing has got to stay as it is. He can't change the setup. So he's got to make sure that he keeps it steady for the next lap if he wants to progress into Q2. Let's see what we've got on a lap right now. We have another McLaren just crossed the line. Stefano has got into P2 with a 33.7, just under 2/10, or just over 1/10, I should say, off the Alfa Romeo of Jamie Mills. Who else is on a lap right now? We have a Haas who's just started a lap. I actually think just crossed the line and invalidated possibly, so maybe he has to do another one. We have an AlphaTauri heading to pits. It's a very quiet track at the moment, isn't it?
Yes, indeed, it is very quiet indeed, and the harsh driver we were just on board with is, yeah, Bart's just, yeah, same corner we were talking about. Without the rear grip, you're really going to go spinning there and end up in the wall. But back on board with the Haas of Average Joe, another content creator who's joined us in this league, and yeah, he's currently going through Sector 2 now, the beginning of Sector 2, onto the long back straight now, but yeah. Ooh, as he just spins it there. Not getting the necessary traction.
That same corner everyone's getting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the same corner. Everyone's just really struggling there.
Yeah. So 11 minutes to go here in Q1. We're seeing many mistakes from many drivers so far, proving difficult at the moment. The sun is really beaming down. It's going to be very difficult for drivers to see in that sun, isn't it?
That's not really an issue, really. You'll be focusing on the track and all the brake markers. You should be able to see them, but if the brake markers were to be taken out, then obviously it would be a problem. As in due past, everyone's had problem with the suns, especially at Silverstone, if the settings aren't right.
Yeah. The Aston Martin off Marcus has come across the line as well to do a 39.0. We can have a look to see what tyres everyone is using right now, so we can really get an idea of who's using them soft tyres and who is using the intermediates. Let's have a look. So only Marcus so far on the intermediates, but Hayden of course did use it too.
He's about to come in this lap, I believe.
Right, so who are we got on a lap now? Joe has just started his lap in the Haas, heading towards turn 1. Late apex, down towards turn 1, and then he's got to keep his very steady on the throttle as he heads now towards the S section.
A little bit concerned with that fuel light I'm seeing, and hopefully he does have enough fuel, as he did spin on his last attempt, so
it's a long way back to the pit lane if he
make it to the line.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long way back to the pit lane if he loses on that fuel.
Yeah, especially before he finishes the lap. That's just gonna be a waste.
There we go, then down towards turn 11. Oh, a lot of inside curb there from Joe. Loses out a little bit on exit because of it, but now's a chance to take your breathers as you head down towards turn 12 where the hairpin sharpens up on you.
Yeah, I believe him going over that curb and losing a lot of time might be a setup issue, because usually if you have the right ride height, you're able to bounce over those curves with no problem and carry the speed. But as we just saw from him, he's just locked up into that corner there. But seems to be getting it right, and especially another issue with the tyres around here is that they overheat very easily.
Yes.
And they're very, and another issue with them as well is that they take a long time to warm up as well.
Yeah.
It's just very strange around this track.
Yeah, you got to make sure you get your tyre pressures correct in your setup, or it is going to be a very, very tricky race. And of course, the last thing you need is your tyres overheating in the race, of course, too, where the points are gained. And across the line goes Joe for now, 35.5 in the Haas tyre. And Fratic has also done his lap too, 35.6 for him. So fairly tight between those two. At the moment, it's still Jamie Mills, who does have the purple lap so far in Q1. 8 minutes to go. We are slowly coming towards the dying embers of this track, and we've got a lot of cars out on track now for their out lap. Let's go on board with who is possibly on a lap at the moment. It could well be Dirk is on a lap. He's gone a little bit wide though. He's invalidated at turn 1, so probably not. Razin has also invalidated his. We've got a few invalidations already here, and Little Carlos has also spun on the exit of the S's. So lots of drivers really finding it tricky out here, aren't they?
Yeah, you really don't want to be invalidating your laps this early on. You want to try to get into Q2 on one set of tyres, and having to use another set would just set you back a little bit. If
Really
you
puts
do
you out
make
of
it into
sync.
Q3, obviously.
Yep. Bushy is currently on his lap right now. He's set a purple sector 2 so far. One more sector to go for him. He's got the vital corners coming up to complete the rest of the lap through the next pair of right-handers where it goes in towards a blind left-hander. It's so hard. It's a blind apex. He nails it pretty well, though. Nearly all. Just keeps it within limits, I think. Now down towards the final corner. Careful on the frontal exit. Across the line now goes Bushy Yance and goes P1 33.552. Just over, or just under 200ths on Jimmy Mills right now. So Bushy goes into the temporary P1 position. Will we see any improvements on that? We are yet to see, but we've still got plenty of drivers to score a lap right now.
Yes, indeed. Track evolution is going to be a key part of the times now.
Hayden Gullis
So,
about to cross the line
yeah.
as well. And I think he might be starting a lap, actually. This would be a good time for us to jump on board with Hayden Gullis for a lap around Kota in Q1. An early apex. It's really interesting to see the different apexes that the drivers like to take at turn 1. We saw Hayden going for that early apex this time round, whereas we saw people like Bushy taking that slightly later apex. Which line would be the best for that one, do you think?
Obviously, you got to try to keep it tight to some of the apexes. And obviously, you need to carry the most speed. That's the best line you really want to take.
Well, Hayden Gullis so far
But anyway,
completing that sector
I
1.
see Hayden.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huge lock up down towards the hairpin once again.
Yeah, this track is just very difficult on the front tyres, and you really need to get the brake bias right. And some people usually run it at 50 just to prevent lockups, but then you have to be careful of the rears. So yeah, this track is just a mystery when you just arrive at it.
Yeah. One more set to go for Hayden Gullis in the Alpine then. Oh, he's round!
Just spinned it.
On the exit, too much throttle for Hayden Gullis, and he's gone round. And that is not what he'd want to be doing in the early stages of this qualifying. That means he's going to have to use another set of tyres, despite tying on the intermediate. So, or will he opt to choose to do another lap? We'll have to wait and see what he chooses. Not ideal, though, for Hayden Gullis.
That's going to be another set of tyres wasted, unfortunately.
Yeah, into the pits goes Hayden, and that is going to put him out of sync to the rest of the grid now. Razin has also done his lap 45.4. Again, not sure if that would have been just a bank lap or if he was using intermediate tyre there. But staying on board with Razin as he heads through the final sector now. He did a purple sector 2 in the AlphaTauri. So he's done a few laps already. A little bit sketchy on the exit of that rear. But now he's got to keep it planted all the way through this right-hand side. Can he keep it together and keep it composed? It could well be on for a strong lap here. One more corner to go
he was able to
for
keep
Razin.
it flat out through the final corner. Let's see what it is.
It's a P7.
5.1.
A purple sector 2, and it still wasn't enough to even put him towards the top 5. So I'm sure he'd be a little bit underwhelmed with that one. But there's still 4 minutes. There is still time to set the lap. As it stands, we've got 5 drivers who have not yet set a lap, one of which is out of the session in bar. We've still got Grande, Scars, Savso, Liam, and Lil Carlos still to set a lap time. And they're really brinking it with the exit now, aren't they?
Yeah, Grande's been having a few issues with disconnects. So hopefully he's able to stay in the session and do his lap. Because he's a pretty fast driver. He's one of the top drivers in the normal ExA League. So yeah, he'd want to put himself up there, obviously.
Yeah, he'd be very disappointed with his performance so far, but he has still got time to make one more lap up. Because we're on board with Scars right now, who I believe is on a cool-down lap. He is currently in P7 on a 34.1 at the moment, so quite a big range of times at the moment across the leaderboard. Let's go on board. I think Safso is actually possibly on a lap right now, but he hasn't validated, so Safso running out of time at the moment to try and get himself into Q2. We have outlaps right now for Joe, Grande, and Lil Carlos, so...
Yeah, I think we should go on board with Grande when he begins his lap, because he should put on a pretty strong lap. Maybe into the 32s if he's really feeling it.
Yeah. Dirk is currently on a lap right now, but he has invalidated, but he's about to start another one, so we'll keep our eye on the host of the league, Mr. Dirk Chocoleague, who's currently done a 48.7 so far, so if he wants to show his name, he needs to be up there a little bit more at the moment, but still, everyone really struggling with the track limits at the moment. Joe has just crossed the line to start his lap. He is currently on a 35.5, so he'll be looking to try and improve that a little bit. Who else have we got on track? Scars is currently doing a lap at the moment. No, he's not. He's coming into the pits at the moment. Marcus in at P6 in the Aston Martin is on a lap right now, I believe. No, he's also in. So drivers trying to time this perfectly to try and get one more run out with the track evolution you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, as I said, this is the twilight phase now. Track grip's going to be at its highest for this session, so everyone's going to be wanting to get out and set that lap. But yeah, if you invalidate now, you will most likely not make it if you're in the danger zone like Dirk is right now.
Yep. Dirk is in that position where he is at risk. And as I said earlier, still a few drivers to get across the line at the moment, so if they don't set their time, he will be safe, but they are going to be aiming to set their time, and even a fairly safe lap at the moment would probably still sneak you into Q2 as it stands. Who is...
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about Dirk, because he's just aborted his lap again, and it's on apparently 4-lap old tyres, so it's not looking too good right now.
Not looking good at all, and he's got 1 minute 40 left in the session. Does he have enough fuel possibly to complete another lap, or is he going to have to box and refill? But if he does that...
He doesn't have fuel. He doesn't have the fuel light.
He doesn't have the fuel, no. Oh, he is... I'm not sure what he's trying to do actually, but he's in neutral at the moment on the outside. Maybe trying to burn a bit of fuel.
Yeah, I think he has fuel.
Yeah.
He must have it.
He's staying well clear of the drivers at the minute.
Yeah, anyway, a little bit behind Grande. He's about to finish his lap. Hopefully he wasn't too impacted by the drivers ahead. Let's see what he sets.
Oh, Alfa Romeo nearly impeding him. P4 for Grande though, 33.8. That should be enough to get him through to Q2 then.
Yeah, I think he did get impeded. The Alfa Romeo ahead of him did not have a front wing. He must have... that must have cost him at least a few attempts, so at least was able to make it in. For
sure, and I think Grande will be too happy with the fact that the Alfa Romeo has possibly impeded him as well. But as it stands, he is quite comfortably through to Q2. Kunz in the Aston Martin crossing the line at the moment. I think he's just started his lap, so we'll keep an eye on how he goes as well. Anyone on a lap right now? Alex Budd on a lap in the Alpha Tauri. He's done a 35.2 so far, so he'll be looking to try and improve that a little bit. At the moment, it's a big gap between them and the bottom 15. There's someone in the wall there. Joe. Average Joe is currently in the wall at turn 2. Not sure how he's lost it out of that one. Possibly a loss of traction, spinning himself deep into the wall at turn 2. But that is going to cost him and possibly may make him at risk of elimination in Q1. He's going to be a bit frustrated with that one. But he is going. I don't think he'll have enough time to clear another lap. So his session is done. Whether he'll be partaking in another one, we'll have to find out. Still a few drivers to cross the line. We can see the checker flags now. So Bushy still topping the session at the moment. Lots of drivers are on their lap.
I think Dirk is out of this session. In P16, he is invalidated.
Oh, he's invalidated. He's out. Yeah.
He's out.
Dirk Chocolate, the host of the league, trying to represent, is unfortunately knocked out of the session, unable to complete a faster lap time than his current one as he spins once again through those two right-handers. It's a very tricky one, though, and unfortunately, we won't be seeing Dirk Chocolate again in qualifying. There's still a few drivers to set a lap. Lil Carlos in P18 has boxed, so he's out of the session as well. Let's keep an eye on Hayden Gullis, the man at risk at the moment. He is coming through Sector 3 at the moment. He's trying to take it nice and easy through this final set to try and get himself up towards that top 15. He should be nice and comfortable with the car now that he's had a good few laps with it. Let's see as he goes through the final two corners. He's got to make sure he keeps it valid. Keeps his left-hand tyre on the right side of the track. Keeps it on the grey stuff. And now it's flat out down towards the finish line. Across the line goes Hayden Gullis. Only P13 for him. So he is currently through. I don't believe anyone else will be setting a lap time now, will they? Destin in the McLaren might be on for a lap, actually. So let's keep an eye on how Destin does. He's currently on for a 36.6, his best lap time at the moment. In Fratic, the man ahead of him is 1 second clear. So he's got a lot of time to find here, Destin.
Yeah, let's see what he's able to do for this final corner. I hope he doesn't invalidate on the exit here, but nope. Let's keep it nice and clean. He only needs to improve by at least 1 second. Is he able to? Across
the line he goes, and it's a 35.9. He's 0.3 off. In Fratic, Destin is out of the session, as Safso is also out as well. He's invalidated his lap. So we have 5 eliminations already in Q1 now. We have Destin in the McLaren now. Dark Chocolate, host of the league, is out of the session as well. Lil Carlos joins him in the Alfa Romeo. And Safso, who didn't complete a lap time, invalidated his final time. He is knocked out of the session. And, of course, Bar in the other car is, unfortunately, who didn't even complete a lap early in the session. He retired from the session as well, so he is out. So here's a look through Q1 for you following our first qualifying event with the Choco League. It's Bush Yance who sets it P1 at the moment. 3 qualifying sessions, remember. There's 3 qualifying sessions, so we've still got Q2 and Q3 to go. We'll have 5 more eliminated in Q2, but at the moment, Bushy does top the standings to Jamie Mills and Stefano Grande in P4, Rutenius in P5, that 33.9. They're the only ones to set 33 so far in qualifying. Further behind them, we've got Artem, Marcus Scars, Liam Kunz, Razin, Alex, Hayden Gullis, Average Joe, and Infratic. They will make it out. Leaving us in Q1, Destined, Dark Chocolate, Carlos, Safsro, and Bart. So with Q2 now beckoning upon us, what can we expect from the drivers now? Are we going to try and see them preserve their tyres a little bit more? What do you think?
I think they're still going to have to do one run, at least, if they're going to try and make it to Q3. Well, the fast drivers will obviously try to do one run. Some drivers might try to do 2 runs. You only get given at least, I believe, 5 sets of softs. So they're going to really have to make it count. But on to the next session, I guess.
Absolutely. And Q2 is underway here in Kota for the Choco League. And who will be the first driver to beckon us on the track? We're about to see. There's a couple of drivers taking them out now. Let's see who will be the first one out on track. This will be an interesting battle to the... look at this. There's a battle coming at the pit lane as we watch everyone coming out now. And it looks like Joe is going to be leading the line for Q2. Lots of cars coming out already. Trying to set them laps earlier. We're going to see a lot of old tyres being used here. Or do you think we'll see some new ones being used to try and take advantage of the early grip?
Definitely old. Obviously, the drivers that topped the session last time will definitely be going on the old tyres, see what pace they have, and do they even need to use a new set of tyres? That's what they'll be asking. But yeah, do you have any predictions on who do you think will get knocked out based on Q1?
Ooh, it's going to be a tough call, I reckon, but after seeing what we saw in Q1, we could be seeing the likes of possibly Hayden Gullis. Might be a bit of a risk. He struggled a little bit in Q1, didn't he? And it might be difficult for him to be knocked out in Q2. He's one of those who did struggle a little bit of their laps in Q1, but if he is able to provide that safety pin that he needs, he might be able to sneak his way through to Q3. But I'm expecting a very interesting battle for pole, though, where the times are very tight at the top. So interesting who can put their foot down and see who can get that P1. I am keeping an eye on the tyre deltas at the moment. It does say that everyone is on 0 laps, so I wonder if everyone is actually on a used tyre here. Marcus and Hayden Gullis, of course, starting on the intermediates. Everyone else on the soft tyre. So Marcus and Hayden won't be taking their laps too serious at the moment as they try and get their deltas in. So let's have a look who will be starting off then. So Razin is currently leading the line as we head down towards turn 1 to start off Q2. Eve will take us through a lap with Razin in the Alpha Tauri.
Here we go. Through turn 1, obviously you've got to find your braking point. Try hit the apex if you're able to. You need to make sure you get good traction as well. If you should usually be set at around 60 if you want to get that good exit. But now into the S's, here we go. 1, 2, and 3. But here's the 4th one. Has to brake a little bit, so he's not really confident on his car, and goes over the curb and validates.
Way too much for Razin there as he goes on the inside curb, invalidating a lap there. We've seen that so many times today where drivers just aren't able to keep it on the tarmac, and well, that's what happens when you don't. You're doing validate those lap times. Let's see who else is possible on a lap right now. I think one of the Ferraris behind Razin is currently on the lap. Let's go on board with Rutenius, who I said earlier is very eager to try and get the first win here in the Choco League. Talk us through the rest of this lap now, hopefully, Evil.
Oh, here we go into first corner after the back straight. You're really going to have to brake hard. And yeah, there we go. He goes over the curb. He must have them set up perfectly built for those curbs. And obviously going purple because he's the first car that's going through that second sector. But now into these final few well, the end, or the beginning of Sector 3, those few corners, but now into the triple right-hander. Does he stake it flat? A little bit of a lift, but nonetheless, it was, you would say, flat. But now into the final, well, the penultimate corner, and then we're about to head into the final corner. Let's see what he's able to do. And what will the drivers have to chase? And it will be a 34.3.
A little bit of a low one compared to Q1. So I wonder if those are maybe older soft tyres we're looking at there. Average Joe crosses the line for a 36.1, as does Jamie Mells. He goes for a 33.3. So that's the fastest I think we've seen. I think that beat the Q1 time, didn't it, of Bushy?
I believe so.
So he is currently P1. Again, I don't know if they're going to be an old set of tyres there, though.
He must be on his old set of tyres, because if he was on new set, I would believe he would have went into the 32s.
Well, Kuntz at the moment in the Aston Martin is on a 35.3 at the moment, so everyone is trying to balance out. Scars in the Ferrari goes for a 34.1. The overall lap time we're seeing not quite as fast as we saw in Q1. Jamie, obviously, that standout lap time at the moment. Let's see if we've got anyone else completing lap right now. I'm on with Alex Budd at the moment, who's going through the start of Sector 2. There's a Mercedes coming around the final couple corners. Now we're on board with Liam as he comes around the final 2 corners. Down to the final corner he goes. A lot of touch there inside curve. Patience on the throttle. And now he's hard on the throttle. Down towards the finish line. Liam crosses the line, but he's only P4. 35.167 for the Mercedes driver. We have Alex Budd now going through the Sector 3. So let's keep an eye on his time. Will he be able to try and sneak into Q3? Let's find out. We've also got another one of the Alpha Tauris coming around the final corner. I think that's Razin, who invalid that early on. Oh, big oversteer for Razin. Crosses the line. P4 for him. 34.6. Would have lost a lot of time from that little traction slip as one of the McLarens of Stefano crossed the line. 33.2 for Stefano. Sets the benchmark now in Q2. And Alex Budd has decided to divert into the pit lane, so he will not be setting a time this time round. Anyone else on a lap? I don't believe so. I think we've got a few on the out laps, a few on the in the pits at the moment. So going to be waiting a while to see any improvements in the laps, I think.
Yeah, track evolution will still be the same as at the end of Q1, but it will gradually be going up. So hopefully the drivers may put on their new tyres and we get a few quick laps. Hayden Gullis is on our lap, so I think he might be on a new set of tyres. And yeah, Stefano, I'm not surprised he went P1. He's an incredibly fast driver, and I raced against him, and yeah, obviously he's beaten me quite a fair bit.
And he's so far beating everyone else in the session, as well as Bushy Ants in the Alpine. Very, very quick driver, Bushy. Was racing WR, PSGL numerous times. Heads towards turn 1 as he starts off his lap. Can he try and put it together and put himself high in Q2? He'll be looking to try and finish in a comfortable position where he can try and save a set of tyres for Q3. Every set of tyre they can save is extremely valuable for the final qualifying session. You never know, of course, if you can try and save a set for the race. If there's a late safety car, you could be looking at trying to put a set of boots on for a fastest lap as well.
Yeah, indeed. But as we've seen, he's apparently gone purple in Sector 1. Yep. This game is a little bit on edge, really. So I do believe he's gone purple in Sector 1, but the game tends to not to really point that out. But as he goes into the back straight, this will be a main overtaking spot, because if you don't have the top speed, you'll get overtaken pretty easily, because this track is a little bit of a mix of a high downforce circuit and a low downforce as well. But as he goes over that curve, seems to have no problems at all, and purple again. But now heading through this tricky part. This is where you usually see most people bin their laps or spin on the exit, because the elevation really puts drivers off. But look at him go flat out through the triple right-hander. That shows you that he has a lot of confidence in his car, and yeah,
on really on the, risking the validation there, isn't he?
Yeah, let's see what he sets.
Looks like a good lap. It's a good lap. 33.252. Only less than 200ths of Stefano right now. So we could really be saying a great battle for pole position here in Q3. Very excited to see how that unfolds. Of course, don't rule out the likes of Jamie Melrose, Retenio Scars. Very quick drivers as well. It's going to be a really intriguing battle in the late stages of Q3. And it should shape up for a wonderful race as well. Still a few drivers to set a lap here in Q2. Alex Bud, Grande, Artem, Marcus, Hayden Gullis, Infratic, all to set a time at the moment. We got a couple of those that mentioned on an out lap at the moment. Artem and Marcus at the moment are about to start their laps. Artem begins his lap. Marcus is already down towards Sector 2, so he's got a little bit to go until he finds his way around the hot lap. But let's stay on board with Artem then as he looks to try and build upon his Q1 time. And someone has just gone fast. I think that was Grande, was it? I think has gone into P4 with a 33.6.
Yeah, that was Grande. He seems to be back into the session with no problems at all, so that's pretty good to see.
And Artem, purple Sector 1 so far. So this has been a really intriguing lap to see where he can put himself. Someone else has also come across the line. I think that was Hayden Gullis. I think that was who set a lap time there. 34.9 for him. Still a little bit off the pace to where he'd like to be. So Artem, one of 4 drivers still yet to set a lap time, but he looks very solid at the moment. Full of confidence in his car as he's got one more set to complete. Where can he position his car with 5 minutes left on the clock here in Q2 in the Choco League? Now it's time for the triple right-hander. Very tricky to keep it stable through here. You need to set up on point to make sure that it's balanced. Tire temperatures here can really make you scuff around as well. All board for the final 2 corners. The blind left-hander. Very tricky to keep it pinpoint there. Flirting with the invalidation and unfortunately flirting too much with it. And he has kissed the outside way too much and he is out of the lap and he diverts into the pit lane. Artem, who was on course for a strong lap there, is now out of the session. Britannia is also improving his lap now. He's gone into P4, so he'll be wanting to try and get a bit more towards that top 3. He's a couple tenths off of Jamie Mills, Jamie Meiser in P3, and then of course Bushy and Stefano on the 33.2s. Let's see who else on the lap. We've got Alex Budd at the minute, who's just going through turn 1. Artem, of course, back into the pit lane, and Fratic on his out lap. Marcus is on his lap, going around the final 2 corners. Last corner coming up now for Marcus. Keep it nice and steady, Marcus, and you might be on course to get into that top 10. You can see that ERS really depleted for the entire lap. P7 for Marcus in the Aston Martin. Do you think that'd be confident enough for him to get into Q3?
Possibly. It really depends on what the other drivers can obviously do, but I think the cutoff could probably be maybe a low 34. So, yeah, he might be safe for now.
Yeah, well, the ones at risk at the moment, the ones in the danger zone, is Marcus's teammate Kunz and Mr. Average Joe in the Haas. Both of those doing a 35.3 and a 35.6 respectively. Let's jump on board with Alex Budd then, who is jumping through Sector 3 at the moment. And one more sector to go for Alex. Can he keep it together? Can he find a way to sneak his way up to Q3? We are running out of time here in Q2. Every lap time now is absolutely vital if you want to get into that top 10. Alex, 2 more corners to go. It's the blind left-hander of 19. Then it's 20. Round the left-hander of 19 goes Alex. And now keeps on the right-hand side. Not as much the inside curve as he probably would have wanted to there. Use a lot of the outside curve, getting a little bit sketchy on the exit. And a 34.8 for Alex. His teammate Razin in P8 with a 34.6. Both the avatars at the moment sneaking their way through to Q3. Still 2 drivers to that set a lap time though. And I'm sure we'll be seeing a few of those behind him looking to improve their laps.
Yeah, definitely Artem will want to improve. He's a quick driver. And yeah, I think he just needs 1 lap to get into Q3, but he needs to actually, set the lap and be within track limits.
He set the purple set to 1 before he invalidated, so we know he's got the pace. It's just about keeping that track limits consistent. Jamie Mills, 32.7. Where has that come from? Jamie Mills, what a lap that is. And he is going to be very happy with that for Q2, and that should set him perfectly into Q3. Now that's a benchmark to beat.
Yeah, what did I say? I knew he'd put it in the 32s, so yeah, this is just expected from him. He's a very, very fast driver in the league as well.
Proving it so far, 5 tenths nearly quicker than Stefano. So the McLaren driver and Bushy both got their work cut out for them if they want to try and get towards Jamie. And yeah, he'll be very happy with that lap time. I don't think we'll be seeing him out again and doing another lap in Q2. Let's see who else we have on track right now. Scars I think, has just set a faster lap time. So I think he's on an in-lap right now. He's done a 33.6, so just slightly off of Grande in that Haas. Let's see who else you might have on a lap. I think Rasin is on a lap in P8. Let's jump on board with him for the final few corners here in the Circuit of the Americas. It's starting to set now, the sunset, and it's really, really hard to see the outside curve with the sun shining off of it. Rasin now down towards the finish line. P7 for him, 33.7. Decent improvement. And he is now a good 0.6 off of Marcus in the Aston Martin down in P8. So Artem is now on his lap with 54 seconds to go in the session. Can we see Artem trying to get towards that P1 that he looked like he was on for at one stage earlier on in this qualifying session number 2? Jamie Mills currently has that pole position for Q2. Even though it's not technically pole position, we are going to claim it for Q2 for him. But Artem, at the moment, will be looking to see if he can surpass that. Can he try and push himself above Stefano and above Bush Jens? Will not be easy to do, but he proved he has the pace with that Sector 1 lap time he did last time out. Now he's going through at the final sector. It's 13, 14, 15, and 16 coming up for Artem. Nice and tight to the apex of turn 16. Nicely balanced through the next few right-handers as he heads down towards turn 19 now. Scars is out of the session, but I'm sure he is probably just retired in the pit lane, so wouldn't expect too much there. And the checkered flag is now out. Artem's lap time absolutely vital. Across the line goes Artem. Enough for P6. That should probably be enough to see him go through to Q3. Let's see who else we've got on lap time right now. There's a couple of Haases coming across the line. Average Joe is out of the session as well in P15, so he will not be making an appearance in Q3. Grande JG at the moment is coming through the final couple of corners as well to finish off the qualifying session number 2. Through the final corner, here goes. Will he improve on his lap time? He's currently on for a 33.640 and does a 32.917, the second driver we've seen in the 32s. Now we have Razin, who's also entered the box. He's on a 33.7 at the moment. He could well be safe. Stefano in P3 is coming around the final couple corners now too. Will he be looking to improve the lap? He goes a little bit wide, so I think he's going to divert into pit lane now. Has invalidated, but I think a 33.2 should be well more than enough for him. A couple more drivers still to cross the line then, and it is all down to Hayden Gullis to see if he can break into Q3. He has a very small lap time delta. He's a huge snap though on the exit of the yeses. Great catch from Hayden, and he's got one more corner to go now. All he needs to do is find a few hundreds on Alex, and we will be seeing him in Q3, but it's a huge lockup down towards the final corner. Now it's foot to the floor across the finish line. Oh, just through against Alex, and Hayden Gullis does make it through to Q3. Liam in the Mercedes has pit, and Hayden Gullis, oh, he'd be very, very, very happy about getting to Q3, but that was scary.
Yeah, that was too close. That was just too close for comfort for him.
Absolutely. In the commentary box, we're getting tight.
Yeah, better late than never.
Absolutely, and he has done that. Yeah, and he has done that. P10 for Hayden Gullis then does make it through to Q3, and I'm sure he'll be breaking a little bit of a sweat after that lap. So, leaving us in Q2 then, it is the AlphaTauri of Alex Budd, who finishes in P11, in Fratic in the Red Bull in P12, Liam in the Mercedes in P13, Kunst in P14, who was looking pretty strong in Q1, but unfortunately for him, is knocked out in P14, and Joe, Mr. Average Joe in the Haas, will be leaving us this session as well, which means it's a shootout for pole position as we head into Q3. Up next. So as we prepare for Q3, this is where every set of tyre that every driver has saved comes in very vital. The track evolution will be very strong in Sector 3. What are we seeing? What do you think of the best lap time we'll see? What's the pole position lap time going to be, Evil?
I predict a 32.5, maybe even a 32.4. It really depends on what Jamie's able to do. And yeah, it really depends on what he's able to do. He's pretty fast.
He proved that so far in Q2. 32.7 was the fastest lap time that we've seen. And, well, it's up to him with that track evolution to see if he can even surpass that. But he's looking like the most likely candidate to be on that top step for qualifying, and 12 minutes timer has begun, and everyone heading out to track now. Be very interesting to see who's looked after their tires the best, who's got them spare sets, who can set the best banker laps and get the best possible deltas that they can. But this will be a really intriguing qualifying session, and looking like it's going to be a tricky one as well for some of those drivers who thought they'd be up there but haven't been able to quite find that rhythm they were looking for. But of course, I'm sure a few of these have probably put their race setups on and are more looking towards the race than qualifying. How important is race pace here compared to the quali pace?
Oh, race pace is incredibly important, especially since it's going to be a 100% race. You're really going to have to be on the pace, because if you have a qualifying setup but not a race setup, you're really going to be struggling. And yeah, you just need to be consistent around here. If you're not, you're going to stack up those penalties, and yeah, it's not really going to help you at the end of the race.
And the invalidations and the warnings are very, very, very brutal around here. You have to make sure that you are really pinpoint with every corner. It's a tricky, tricky track to try and keep yourself penalty clean. But we are about to start our first flying laps in Q3. We are watching Grande, who set a pretty nice lap time in Q2 to get himself firmly in the reckoning. And I'm sure he'll be trying to target the top guys as well and looking to try and find himself a strong lap time and a strong starting position. Here in Kota, a few of the drivers backing off a little bit to allow a bit of space as we are now underway. Grande's hot lap begins as we head up towards turn 1. It's a very blind corner, this one, using the black box to your right-hand side. A little bit wider of the apex there for Grande, but able to get his foot down. Keep it pinned and look to the right-hand side. It's tricky as you head over a little bit of an elevation change. A lot of the left-hand curve, a lot of the right, then back to the left, and you're holding onto the right-hand side. A little dab on the brakes. Keep it over to the right as you switch the car back to the left. Nice and steady so far for Grande. Lots of that inside curve being used. He keeps it in 5th gear, trying to look for that best possible stability on corner exit. And so far, looking very smooth as he heads down towards turn 11, where it's very tricky. A little bit of the inside curve being used, and is patient on the throttle as you head down towards the back straight. And look at that sunset beaming over the elevation change and the camber change as you head down towards turn 12. And Grande will be looking to his right-hand side, using a lot of that right-hand side apex at the 100-meter braking board. Hard on the brakes, a bit of inside curve. Probably wanted to use a little bit more there, but does keep it nice and steady. So far, so the purple sectors in Q2 as he now balances the throttle down towards the next few corners, where it suddenly tightens up on you. And now as you exit, the camber changes as you shoot back onto the right-hand side. Over to the left it goes. Now keep it back over to the right. You want to keep it over there as well as you now look to the left-hand side. As you drop down the car to 6th gear, the car suddenly drops into this rhythm, and you're finding yourself heading down towards this bottom corner. A little bit of the inside apex being used. A smooth lap so far for Grande, it's got to be said. And a 33.4, it's not a bad benchmark to set for the opening lap in Q3.
That is a pretty good lap. I was gonna say midway through your hot lap guide, that sector 1 was amazing.
Really clean, wasn't it?
But obviously, that lap's just been pipped by a 32.8 from Jamie. As I said, incredibly fast, already into the 32s on his banker lap.
Yeah, lovely lap from Jamie once again, who has shown how strong he can be around here at the moment. We've got a couple of yellow flags flying around the track at the moment. Do we have anyone about to cross the line? I think we have Artman Williams, who's about to cross the line. He goes into P3, 33.9 for him. Do you think he'll be a little bit underwhelmed with that lap?
Yeah, I'm sure he would be, because it's nowhere near close the benchmark that was set in Q1. So yeah, he might be on used tyres, so who knows.
Yeah, Stefano invalidated his opening lap, so unfortunately it does look like he's going to try and go again, but his ERS levels do look pretty low from what I'm seeing on the dashboard, so this may only be a banker lap for Stefano, but he's not going to quite see the time he wants with that low ERS level. Let's see what else we got about to cross the line. We've got Scar starting his lap, as Retenius also starts his lap as well. Both the Ferraris currently starting their hot laps. We've got Marcus starting his hot lap too. Anyone else crossing the line? We've just keep an eye on the map at the moment. I think we've got Bushy Ants, but he's invalidated his lap too, so a little bit disappointing there for Bushin. It looks like he's going to head into the pits, so no early lap for Bushy Ants. And I don't believe we've got anyone else on a lap right now, so we may have to keep an eye on Scars and Rutanius here, the two Ferraris.
Yeah, ooh, I just saw Artem just spin in the final sector on his in lap, but
He's got to keep out of the way. You've got the Stefano coming up behind him, who's on a lap as well. That was really dangerously low for him, so I'm not going to set a fantastic lap time, but as long as he's got a banker.
As now going on board with the Ferrari driver into the next sector now. Let's see, is he purple? No, he's not purple, so this might be an average lap, but as he's now heading through the twisty parts of this first part of sector 3, it's all nice and easy. Good traction as well. Fuel lights on a little bit, so he must be running close to the limit, but through the triple right-hander. Yeah, right now it's easy to go flat on the triple right-hander. Track evolution will just get rid of you having to go and making a lift in that corner. So as we see him go through the final corner, let's see what he sets, and it will be 30.3 up into P2, so that's a decent benchmark, but it's still nowhere near the time that Jamie set.
Yeah, so Rutanius in the Ferrari and his teammate both completing their laps. 33.3 for Rutanius, still 5/10 off of the current pole sitter Jamie Mills. Scars in the other Ferrari set 34.0, so I'm sure there's still plenty more to come from the Ferrari drivers. And who else? We got Resin, I believe, who's starting his lap now. One who definitely flirted with the drop zone a couple of times so far in this qualifying session, and he's going to be looking to try and improve on that now and try and set what he needs. Oh, it's a validation for Resin. Too much on the inside curb as he heads through turn 7, that was. So he is going to have to probably put on another set of tyres now. This is where having those spare tyres really does come in handy, because if you make mistakes like that, you can afford to roll back to another set. But Razin invalidating his lap. We have 4 minutes 20 left on the session now, so we're really getting towards the dying embers.
Yes, indeed, and now we're going to get ready. We're going to have a treat now, as looks like Jamie is on the outer lap and looks to be on a fresh set of tyres, so hopefully we'll be able to go on board with him and see what he's able to do on that fresh set.
Keeping their tyres nice and warm. The warm-up laps are going to be really vital around Kota and Jamie coming towards the last few corners. He prepares for what could well be his final lap in Q3, and it could well be the decisive lap as well. No pressure, Jamie, as you head down towards the final corner. Open up that corner as much as you can to get yourself ready, and Jamie begins his final lap. Talk us through it.
Go onto the straight, nice and easy. You look for that black box on the right-hand side. He breaks for it. Let's see what he's able. Does he hit the apex? No, going a little bit deep, I should say, but he will get a better exit. Hopefully, he doesn't lose too much time because of that. But now into the S's, can he go right onto the track limits? Looks like he's able to, and looks to be having no problem with grip into the end of sector 1, and he is up on his time, which is what you want to see.
Yeah, lovely sector 1 from Jamie.
Into the next part.
Really good sector 1.
Heading into the next part, let's see what he's able to do. Hopefully he does have the straight line speed to be able to challenge with the other guys, but now into the corner before the long straight. No problems there, getting good traction, and now onto the straight. Everything seems to be going perfectly for him right now. We could see a couple of attempts of improvement if he's able to keep the lap like this. But now into the end of the straight. Yeah, saw that little bit of a lock-up I've seen, but he's there. He's lost 2 attempts. He's actually down on his time now. He must have lost a lot of time because of that lock-up. Hopefully he's able to pull it back at the end of this final sector. But as he carries on, fuel light is flashing now. Takes triple right-hander flat out, so hopefully he gains a little bit of time doing that. But now into the penultimate corner. Let's see, does he ride onto the edge of track limits? Yes, he's able to. Let's see if that gains him a little bit of time into the final corner. We'll now see what he sets, and it will be 32.4.
What a lap from Jamie Mills. It looked a little bit scruffy in the middle sector, but he's pulled it together. A 32.4, 9/10 up on returning. A superb lap from Jamie Mills, and that could well be enough to see him with that top spot in qualifying. Brilliant lap from Jamie. We've got a few more drivers now, though, on their out laps, and it is really going to come down to this final lap shootout. Only 5 drivers so far have set their laps, but I'm sure we'll be seeing plenty more coming in the next minute and a half. We've got Grande at the moment preparing to start a second lap, I believe, here. Bushy right now is also preparing his lap by the looks of it. So it's all going to come down to this final minute and this final lap here in the Choco League, the first Q3 we've seen. And so far, Jamie Mills has set the benchmark and looks to be in a very comfortable position as Bushy now prepares to start his lap. We've got a few starting their lap now as we see Bushy go for 37.4 that time round, but he is only setting his real lap time this time round. So down towards turn 1, Bushy using a lot of that inside curve, nice and calm on the exit. We'll have to keep an eye on the other drivers here as well. We've got a few who are on their lap right now. I believe actually one of the Williams. I think that's Artem coming around the final corner. It is Artem across the line. Here he goes. And I think he might be starting his lap actually. So we've got to keep an eye on a lot of these. Scars is out of the shelter as well. As Scars lost control of the car here actually. I think he may well have. Trying to keep an eye.
He must have lost it on the curb.
Yeah. Trying to get an onboard to have a look. And yeah, his car is over on the left-hand side. It's beached on the left-hand side. Scars is out of the session on 34-0. So he's going to be a little bit disappointed with that. But there's still plenty of opportunities for other drivers to capitalize on that. And let's see who will be coming across the finish line first then. Grande on a 33.4, currently sitting in at P3. Coming around the final few corners at the moment. It's a double left-hander that he's got coming up next as he tries to bend that car in. What? It's gone!
Oh, no,
Round he goes, Grande. Unfortunately, too heavy on the throttle, and he is going to head into the pit lane now. Kept it out the wall, but Grande is out of Q3, and at the moment, only looks to be in P3. Bushy Ants now coming across the line. Here he goes, down towards the finish line. Bushy goes into P2, 32.774. But Bushy's just Stefano now in the McLaren goes second and fastest. 32.678. It's still pole position for Jamie Mills. But we still have a few drivers across the line as Razin, I think, had to move offline as he lets through. I think it's Artem. Yeah, Artem is coming through the final corner now. So is he going to improve on his lap? Across the line goes Artem. 33.2 for him as Razin heads into the pit lane. We have a couple more drivers to cross the line now as Marcus in the final 2 corners now keeps it nice and steady, not really trying to float the validations as much as the other drivers have. Round the final corner now for Marcus, and across the line he goes. P7 for him. Scars drops another position, so there's only one more man to cross the line now, and it's Hayden Gullis. Across the line he goes, and I think that was a P9. It was indeed. So pole position for Jamie Mills in the first Choco League, and what a lap it was, Evil.
Yeah, that was an insane lap. I had a look at his sector times, and he had a monstrous last sector. That was the fastest last sector I've ever seen.
Incredible stuff.
From
Absolutely
anyone.
incredible stuff from Jamie Mills. So let's go through the top 10 then. Jamie Mills on pole position in the first Choco League qualifying session. Stefano in a P2 in the McLaren. Only a 10th and a half off of him. Really good lap time for Stefano there as well. Bushy Yant in P3 in that Alpine. Rutanius in P4 in that second row. On the third row, we have Artem and Grande. Marcus and Scars also in the lineup together. Grande and Marcus there, I see, actually on the exact same lap time. Razin, the only one not to set a lap time around this time, and Hayden Gullis in P9. So it all comes down to this here in COTA. We have plenty of laps, plenty of opportunities, and we'll be seeing lots of differences in strategies. What strategies do we can expect around here, Evil?
Well, full race, we have to take that into account. We could probably see 2 stoppers, maybe even a 3-stopper, because the 1-stopper won't obviously work. You'll lose a lot of time doing that. So yeah, anything could happen. Really, anything could happen. Also, safety cars could be a massive thing in this race as well. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. We're just passengers right now.
Yeah, at the moment we have to wait and see what the strategies are going to be as we prepare for the formation lap. All the drivers right now will be setting up their final little tweaks, getting their strategies correct, making their little tweaks and all the little adjustments to their setups that they're allowed to do with the park for me being turned on. Will we see any sunrises in the race pace? I assume we probably will. But we are going to be waiting at the moment for the formulation lap to begin. Very excited to see what we can see from some of these drivers. There's a lot of very good talent on the grid here in the first race of the season. But one lap pace is very different from a 50-odd lap pace. And we're going to have to see who is the most consistent driver today, who won't be getting those track limit penalties. They're going to be very vital today. So I'm really excited to see what we can see here. 10 seconds until we see the flag raised for the formation lap in this full race here in the Choco League. And I think we should be underway in just a moment. Have the timer come down. Here we go. Yep, we're seeing the formation lap now beginning. And Jamie Mills, the man on pole position, takes us away for the formation lap here in COTA. 56 laps here to go in the Circuit of the Americas. It is going to be a long race, a tricky race. As we can see, Jamie Mills starting on the hard tyre. And let's have a look at the tyres that everyone else could possibly be using. So, we've got two people starting on the soft tyres, Infratic and Lil Carlos in P12 and P18. They're starting on the soft tyres, so they're going for a very different strategy. Everyone else either on the hard or the medium. Jamie Mills opting for the hard tyres, so he might struggle early on. Stefano in P2 on the medium tyres. Bushy and Retainers on the second row together. There is the predicted pit stop strategy on the screen now, and you can see it'll be a hard to medium or a two-stop soft hard medium. So really interesting to see how those soft tyres will hold up, Evil.
Yeah, well, obviously, this is a 100% race. This will obviously, the soft tyres will obviously last longer, but you'll still be pretty tight with tyre wear, and maybe overheat those softs as well. So they're really gonna have to be careful. And yeah, Stefano going aggressive on those medium tyres at the start. So yeah, we could see him make the move into turn one if he does get a better launch. But yeah, this should be an exciting race. A lot of diverse strategy we've seen.
Absolutely. Every tyre being used from across the grid. So Bushy and Britannia start on those hard tyres. Artem and Grande behind them. They're going to be looking to capitalize on that early grip and probably try and get themselves high up early on as well. Behind them, we've got Marcus in P7 in the Aston Martin. Scars in P8 on the medium tyres there. Hayden Gullis also on the hard tyres in 9th place. And we've got the two AlphaTauris on the mediums for Razin, on the mediums for Alex Bird. Infratic, I said earlier, is on the soft tyres in that Red Bull. Liam in the Mercedes on the hards. Kuntz on the hards as well in the Aston Martin. Then we've got three drivers behind them using the medium tyres. Average Joe, as we see one of the Alpines losing a bit of control there out of the final corner. I think that was a Bushy Jans possibly. But he lost a bit of control. And we're seeing a couple of drivers get disqualified from the session here. But I think that's just because they probably didn't quite get it right on their grid lineup. Dirt Chocolate, the host of the league, in P17 with Destined in front of him. Lil Carlos on the soft tyres, Safso and Bart both on the hard tyres. We are lining up for 56 laps here in the Circuit of the Americas. And it is going to be a very interesting 56 laps. And I think if Jamie Mills has been disqualified from the formation lap, he's going to be starting on the cold, hard tyres, isn't he?
Possibly, but I don't think he will. He might have saved his tyre temperatures before he got disqualified, but hopefully that's not the case, as that won't be very nice. But I'll let you take it away.
Here we go then. 5 red lights appearing on the screen now. And we are underway here in COTA. And Jamie doesn't get off the line too bad, but Stefano is off the line pretty well, as well as Bushy lines up alongside Stefano as we head down towards turn 1. And there's a 3 wide across the entire field as Stefano takes P1 in the early stages. Jamie and them hard tyres dropping down to P3. Retanius also holding on to P4 and Grande P5. Artem P6 Scars. Marcus Infratic and Razin holding on to the top 7. And Artem is round in the early stages of this race down towards the section. He drops down all the way to the bottom of the grid now. Artem, I'm not sure what happened there, but he made contact or he's lost on his own and is dropped. Oh, they're having a huge crash. Massive accident here. Down. We've got 3 drivers out of the race. Grande, Infratic, Alex at the start of this race are out on the opening stages. Not what either of those drivers were looking for. Grande, who was looking so strong in qualifying, are out of the session, and we have a safety car deployed on the opening lap, Evil.
Yeah, I know Artem and Grande They actually collided, both of them spinning out, and then I think it was Alex Spud and Infratic maybe collided there, both going out, and then Grande went straight into the stricken cars of both of them, and yeah, he's now out of this race. So yeah, early safety car, 3 retirements already. Hopefully we don't see too many more retirements, and yeah, the race should calm down now, and hopefully you don't see any more retirements.
3 retirements in the opening lap. How rare we see something quite like that happen. But unfortunately, Grande, Infratic, Alex have departed the session early after a early collision around turn 7 or 8 or 9, somewhere around that area. I didn't quite see it from my perspective, but unfortunately we have lost 3 drivers and the other stages of the Choco League. Stefano does hold the lead right now. Let's see where other drivers have possibly made up some places, shall we? As we can see here, Stefano making up a place, Bushy making up a place, Jamie dropping down 2 places in the early stages. Not what he won. Retanius did hold on. Scars had a brilliant start as well in the Ferrari. He's already up to P5. Marks and Yastermine getting positions in P6. Razin getting 3 positions. Look at that start from Joe as well. 7 positions gained in the opening lap. He's gone from P15 all the way up to P8. Brilliant start from Average Joe. Clinton and Aston Martin making up 5 places in the early stages, as well as Liam. They are in 9th and 10th. Gullis, Hayden Gullis, unfortunately, has dropped a couple positions too. He started P9. It's down to P11, so he probably got caught up in a little bit of the shenanigans. Destined in the McLaren has gained quite a few positions. Bar as well, who started last. One of the early knockouts in Q1. He retired while using the intermediate tyre. So Bar gaining up to P7 right now. Brilliant start for him. He'd be very happy with that. He'd be looking to build on that as the race progresses. Carlos at the moment in the Alfa Romeo as well, getting 4 positions. Safso getting 4 positions. Dirk getting 1 position so far. And Artem, of course, having that early spin out down towards the S section, losing 12 positions. He was up there.
No.
What have we seen?
Safety car is not in the... It's getting out the way. I'm a little bit confused on what the safety car is doing, but hopefully it doesn't...
oh, yeah, I've seen that. Oh, dear. It looks hopefully like Artem is getting past, so I think the drivers will probably go around for another lap, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's fine now.
That's good. The last thing we need right now is a better desync. So
yeah, we do not want that.
No, there's another look at the predicted pit stop strategy then. For those starting on the hard tyres, they'll be looking for a 1-stop down to the mediums, and those starting on the mediums, we're looking for a 1-stop onto the hards. But 2-stop is viable around a 56-lap race here in the Circuit of the Americas, and right now, Stefano looks he's quite comfortable in that lead. Of course, tyre warm-up is going to be pivotal at the moment here too, so expect lots of drivers to be trying to keep their tyres nice and warm. But of course, this could be quite good for the soft tyres in early stage, isn't it? To ensure they can look after their tyres a little bit longer.
Well, the drivers shouldn't be boxing now. They obviously want to stay on the tyres they started on. Maybe the soft runners may think of boxing onto the mediums and get their pit stop out of the way early and go onto the hards later on. But right now, I don't see anyone boxing, so yeah. Just wait for everyone to catch up to the safety car, really.
The soft tyres can take themselves a little bit longer now, though, at least. They'll be able to extend a couple more laps now that the safety car has stayed out for an extra lap. We probably will be seeing the safety car come in either this lap or next lap, I would assume. Probably next lap, considering it's already let everyone by. So we'll see what happens as the drivers approach the safety car now. Let's jump on board with Stefano, and the safety car is back in the formation now. So
safety car's working all fine and dandy.
Thank God. Absolutely. So interesting to see what else we'll see for the rest of this race now. A crazy opening lap, and we are now on lap 3. The safety car will be boxing in the next couple of laps, and we're back underway under green flag conditions very soon in the first race of the Choco League season. We've lost 3 drivers so far in the opening stages. Grande in that Haas car, who looked so promising in qualifying, and it wasn't meant to be for him as he retires alongside Infratic in the Red Bull and Alex Bud in the Alpha Tauri. It'll be very interesting to see what actually happened between those guys, but those guys are all out of the session. No word on safety car coming in this lap, so I think we'll be waiting another lap until we see the safety car coming in. And yeah, looks like the safety car's going to be staying out, so another lap on the safety car, and we'll see. I don't think anyone will be boxing. Too early to box, really, to change up your strategies now. Unless someone maybe has a bit
unless
of
you're
wrong
in last
damage.
place. So yeah, strategies will. This safety car won't really impact strategies. It should remain the same.
Oh,
But oh, what is this?
I don't like the look of that. I think the safety car is
Oh
just...
dear.
Where did that go? I don't actually know where it went. It's
Behind
currently...
the leaders
Yeah.
now.
Oh, dear. It's currently in front of Britannia's who
Once
passed the safety
again.
car. Oh, and it's just teleported
And
back
it's done it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We may be in for a spot of bother at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. Lil Carlos has just retired as well. Out of turn 2 in the Alfa Romeo. I don't know what's happened to him. Whether he's lost control of the car and the safety car, but he just retired from the session as well.
Yeah. I think the lobby may be bugged or desynced.
It could well be. I really hope not. But we're going to have to wait another few laps until we maybe see racing conditions again. Safety car is currently coming out of turn 10 down towards turn 11. So if we jump on board possibly with Artem. No, the safety car is now stopped out of turn 10. So
Okay,
I don't know.
I think I know what's going to happen.
Okay.
I think they will get caught up to the safety car again, and you know how you saw that the safety car didn't go in. It should go in once they get caught up again, possibly.
Right. So we should be seeing safety car in next lap then,
Yes.
or the lap after.
We should be. We
Okay.
should be seeing the next lap.
Fingers crossed that all goes according to plan then, and we can get back to racing conditions here in the Circuit of the Americas. What was a very promising opening lap is starting to dwindle down a little bit with how long the safety car is staying out. So fingers crossed we will be back to green flags soon. The drivers are going to start catching back up to the safety car again now. Safety car is just waiting out of turn 10 as Stefano heads out of turn 1. So hopefully we go back to the rhythm again when they catch back up.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We just have to pray right now.
Destined and Bar have just swapped positions down there as well. I think Destined has just dropped a few positions. I'm not sure what's happened there. Dirk has just let him go by. So I don't know what exactly.
He must have had a half spin, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. We have a 5-second penalty awarded to Bart for ignoring yellow flags. So I guess that's something Delta related, possibly? Not too sure, but the safety car is taking the grid round once more. Hopefully I'll be in this lap, but Bart in P12 in the Williams, who had such a great start to this race, has been slapped with a 5-second penalty now. So hopefully for his sake, he can get back to the session, as we've had... what on earth is going on here?
What is this?
We've got a lot of 5-second penalties. What has happened? Yeah, we've just seen a good few 5-second penalties handed out there. And more... Oh my goodness, yeah, we have some desyncing going on, I believe. Jamie has just dropped down to P8. And lots of 5-second penalties being slapped out here. We may be seeing a potential lobby restart if this continues. Jamie Mills has now dropped down to P11, so we may have to consider a lobby restart here, I believe.
Yeah, safety car's not in. We might have to consider a lobby restart.
Well, hopefully one of the administrators will be watching this a moment and they can see what's happening, but we are witnessing a potential desync with the lobby and bugs, which means we would have to start this race again. Whether those who are retired or not will be allowed to participate or not, I'm not too sure. But
well, a cause of that retirement between Grande and Artem was believed to be desync, so
right,
could be the case that they could be allowed back into the race. But
and we're still seeing some drivers dropping down here.
I think this was caused by the formation lap.
Yeah, I think so as well. Hopefully the administrators watching this, and hopefully we will consider a lobby restart, because this is probably going to go on for the entire race. should discontinue. So we'll see what happens and what will be announced. But at the moment, as it stands, the lobby is going to continue at the moment. We'll keep an eye on the safety car. We'll see if it does decide to divert into the pit lane. Jamie Mills is now out of the session. I just left the session, actually. Sorry. So he's not retired. He just left. So fingers crossed he'll come back in a moment. But yeah, this is a little bit of a mess at the moment. So
Yeah, we're going to restart.
is that confirmed? Is it?
Yeah, I made the call to restart.
So we'll be seeing a lobby
It's,
restart hopefully very soon then.
Yeah, most people are desynced.
Yep.
Even if the safety, now the safety car's going in the slap, it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, if we're having a lobby
Lobby's
restart, then yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we will have to wait for proceedings then.
Just need to get the attention of Dirk, hopefully.
Yeah,
as,
well,
I believe he is the host.
he's currently streaming. Lobby stays as of now. We've just been told. So as it stands,
Lobby
the
stays
lobby,
as now.
yeah, the lobby is going to continue with the safety car coming in this lap. We've had a couple of retirements due to the desync, and hopefully we won't see any more if that's the case. But Stefano leads the drivers out for green flag conditions on lap 7. Bushy Jans following very close behind him as it stands. Retenius and Scars, both of the Ferraris, both with 5-second penalties at the moment as well because of the issues we saw earlier. So Stefano leads the grid away at the moment, and he's looking to keep it nice and smooth to Bushy, who's going to be hunting him down. Of course, Bushy on the hard side has got a little bit too much on that inside curve. Lots of understeer there for the Alpine driver, but he's still sticking right behind Bushy Stefano at the moment. Behind them, of course, both the Ferraris, Retenius and Scars. Retenius on them hard tyres, Scars on the medium tyres. I think we'll be looking for a bit of team orders maybe if Scars is a slightly quicker driver. Lots of the outside curve being used there by Retenius, and we're seeing some position changes further down as Dirk Chocolat moves past Bart, looks up the inside of Destin. Destin quickly closing that gap down though. Don't like to make the move now, but is he going to try and make a move down towards the hairpin of turn 12? Dirk Chocolat looking to try up the inside of Destin, but I think that top speed of Destin proves a lot more than Dirk's at the moment. Gafso and Bart further down the order having a great battle down here as well, as Bart goes very deep and Dirk goes even deeper and runs wide on the exit of turn 12. And now Safsa on the outside of him. Dirk does drop down to P15 at the moment, and that looks like that'll be the back of the grid organising itself out at the moment, but everyone's still very touch and go at the moment. Bushy has nearly fell outside of DRS to Stefano at the moment, so still a couple laps until we see DRS. We've not seen any of it because of the safety car right now, but Stefano currently leads this race.
Yeah, I'm quite confused on why we do not have a lobby restart due to most of the drivers have been desynced or left the session, so yeah, it's pretty confusing. We have the time to restart. It's only 8 laps out of 56, but yeah, this is just pretty confusing. So yeah.
Well, Scars has just been awarded a 3-second penalty, assumingly for track limit violations. And he is currently sitting behind his teammate Rutanius, who'll probably be quite frustrated that he's not able to get past him at the moment. And I'm sure when the DRS does get activated, he'll be looking to pass his teammate sooner rather than later. He needs to make the use of those medium tyres early on. Further down the grid, we've had position swaps for Stafso and Bart. So we'll see if they're going to carry on as Bart looks behind Stafso. Stafso getting a nice X out of the turn 11 there. Goes alongside Destin, moves up one more place. Destin drops down, and he'll be looking to take that toe off Stafso as they head down towards turn 11. It's going to go wheel to wheel. Destin on that medium tyre looking to the outside now. Late on the brakes for both drivers. Destin's probably got a little bit too late on the brakes though, and Stafso holds that position with Bart tucking in right behind them. And he's going to look up the inside one more time here. Destined has to make up. When he actually has contact between the two, and Destined is around on lap 8, taken down by in the Williams there, and I'm sure that is one that the stewards will be investigating at some point. But alongside Destined, didn't leave him the room, and unfortunately, Destined is found looking the wrong way, and Bart, who already has a 5-second penalty, will probably be left a little bit red-faced after that one. So he'll be looking to try and get past Dark Chocolate up next, who's 2.7 behind Savso. Back at the front of the grid. DRS now enabled, of course, and Bushy is currently 2 seconds down on Stefano. Stefano, of course, on those medium tyres. So the strategical advantage Bushy has right now, he needs to make sure that he stays within a good amount of time to Stefano. But as it stands, he has dropped off that DRS at the moment. But Retanius on the hard tyre as well within a second. And we'll see that DRS for Retanius being activated down the back straight.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what's going on, but right now gaps are pretty huge, and yeah, Scars will be want to maybe overtake his teammate and push after Bushy. So yeah, as we've seen, Bart has just joined back.
Yeah, I wonder if that was maybe his AI that actually had that collision with Destin and wasn't actually Bart himself, but time will really tell on that one. Jimmy Mills at the moment currently sitting in P12 after his pole position start. I think he was one of those that got affected by that desynced safety car. So unfortunately for him, he's had to drop back a little bit. But Retanius and Scars, both the Ferraris, hunting down the lone Alpine of Bushy as they head down towards the final corner to begin lap number 10. Stefano still with that 2.1 second gap to Bushy, and Retanius and Scars will be following along closely as the Red Arrows look to try and take that Alpine down. Average Joe only 1.2 seconds behind so far. Joe's had a fantastic start to this race, 10 laps in on the medium tyres. He was one of those who started quite low down. P15 he started in, I believe. We've got a few drivers dropping down the orders here. I've just seen Kuntz has dropped a few positions there, so I wonder if he's been in a bit of a tangle with a few other drivers. Razin has been out a few positions, as has Marcus there, so I assume there was some wheel-to-wheel battling going on between those guys. But we are going to keep an eye on this battle, actually, because Marcus and Liam very close to Razin here in P6. A good few battles happening across the board at the moment. Stefano with that 2.2 second gap. Looks like he's increasing that gap slightly and slightly every lap at the moment to Bushy in that Alpine. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2, and that, I think, is Bart faced the wrong way. He is already being investigated probably for that incident with Destined, and has now found himself facing the wrong way out of the yes section. So Bart dropping down there, and Destined will be looking to try and catch back up to him as we go back on board with Marcus, Razin, Liam. The battle for P6 across 3 drivers. 3-second time penalty awarded to Average Joe for early track limit abuse. We're only 10 laps in, and we're already seeing a few track limit penalties being awarded. Evil.
Yeah, this is pretty early on for penalties. Hopefully, yeah, somewhere about 5-second time penalties, so they should be served in the pit lane. And yeah, but these 3-second time penalties will not help the drivers at the end of this race. But yeah, this is a pretty interesting fight for P2 between both Ferraris and the Alpine of Bushy.
Yeah, Scars has dropped back a little bit too much. He's now 1 second off of Rutanius and Bushy, so he is trying to push back towards that 1 second. He should still be okay with the DRS, but he wants to be within that second to Rutanius at all times. And that DRS that Rutanius is getting on Bushy probably is coming in very helpful right now, as he's on the hard tyre and having to defend from his own teammate who's on the medium tyre, and he's gained a lot through sector 1 here, Scars, and he might well be looking to try and push on in sector 2. A lot of the outside line being used by Rutanius. I think he's got a little bit deep there, Rutanius, as well. Or has he? Might be okay, actually. Rutanius has actually lost a bit of time there, and he has dropped below a second to Bushy, but at the point of the detection zone, he is back within a second, and he is back on the hunt for the Alpine, and his teammate still trying to look for him as well. Razin has now caught back up to Average Joe, and they are going to be looking for a battle at some point in the near future as well. There's 4 cars in this battle for P6. There's 3 in the battle for P2. And we're on board with Safso and Hayden Gullis as they go wheel to wheel out of turn 12. Brilliant wheel to wheel battle between these two. Hayden Gullis on the inside is Safso holding that outside line. Goes a little bit too wide. Hayden Gullis holds on to P9 at the moment. And it's still very, very close between these two. Great battling. Great wheel to wheel battling between those two drivers. But Hayden Gullis at the moment holding on.
Yeah, that was a pretty clean battle between the two of them, and focusing back for the fight for P5 right now. Marcus has actually got involved, and Liam has actually caught up to this fight.
Oh,
so
and here we go.
Could see some DRS train, and yep, there we go. Seeing Resin go for the move up the inside into turn 1.
Oh,
Nice
and Marcus
easy
down
move
the
with
inside!
DRS.
Marcus down the inside towards turn 1. Joe just saw that, and Marcus makes a bit of contact with Joe there. I think that probably offset Joe on the exit of turn 1, and Marcus has to slip in behind him. Very late move there for Marcus, but is not able to get past.
Yeah, he had to, yeah, Average Joe needed to get out the way there, or there would have been a collision, but it was good that he did. So, yeah, no front wing was lost on Marcus's car.
Yeah, luckily for the Aston Martin driver, but he's going to be having a look once again down towards turn 12. It's a little bit of a lock-up for the Aston Martin, but I don't think Joe is within a second of the AlphaTauri ahead of him, so we could be seeing a move from Marcus here as he puts his car alongside Joe and does get past the Haas with that DRS advantage on that hard tyre and has surpassed Average Joe, and now Liam will be looking to the same. As further down the order, we see Hayden Gullis has now been taken by Safso. Is Hayden going to try and get back down the inside towards the hairpin? He is, but he's so late on the... Oh, well, I don't know what's going on here, actually. There was a little bit of a network bug between those two, and Hayden Gullis, who I thought was initially going to go deep, has actually got that position back. So a little bit of glitching there for Hayden, but he is back ahead of Safso at the moment. Will he keep that position? We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure that battle will continue to unfold.
Yeah, this battle will carry on, and yeah. But Marcus does have that 5-second time penalty, so that will impact him when he does make his stop. While Average Joe only does have that 3-second time penalty, which will stay with him to the end of this race. But much better than having a 5-second time penalty, obviously.
Absolutely, and 3-second penalties cannot be served in the pit lane, so as you say, they'll have to be carried over to the end of the race. Any 5-second penalties, though, can be served in the pit stops, as we see Marcus now on the hunt for Ryzen as Joe picks up another 3-second penalty. That's going to hurt him a lot more than a 5-second penalty now, as Kuntz in the Aston Martin goes fastest on the soft tyre. Interesting strategy here from Kuntz as he also gets past Destined as well down towards turn 1. So interesting strategy here going onto the soft tyre at this stage of the race.
Yeah, soft tyres, they should be reaching the end of their lifespan, as yeah. But looks like the Aston Martin at the back is on the soft, so those should last for, I'd say, around close to 12 laps. That should be where they would fall off. But I did see a move between Hayden Gullis and Safso, as looks like he's trying to make the place on Hayden Gullis go round the outside. Can he hold on? And he's still got his nose in there. Does he make it the inside? Yes, he does, and it looks to have taken the move with no issue at all. But Hayden Gullis is still there, but yeah, Safso takes the position with no problem at all.
Vital point scoring positions at the moment for these two, and they have been going at it hammer and tongue with the opening 14 laps, and I'm sure they will continue to do so. But great battle between Safso and Hayden, and I'm sure, as I say, they'll probably be continuing that battle for along to come. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3, and I think that is Dirt Chocolate. Is it? No, it's not. I don't know why we had a yellow flag there. Maybe someone went a little bit wide or something, but Dirt Chocolate has dropped down to bar at the moment. Ryzen has been given a 3-second penalty by the stewards for exceeding track limits one too many times. So man in P5 hit with an 8-second overall penalty at the moment. So Marcus now will be in that net position of P5, but he still wants to get that track move made to try and catch up to the top 4, doesn't he?
Yeah, obviously he would, but he's kind of far off now, so it's going to take him a lot of pace to really catch up. As looking up front, the Ferraris are getting very close to each other. We could maybe see team orders between the two of them, but right now we don't. As yeah, Scars is running pretty low on ERS, so he must be struggling keeping up with 2 cars ahead of him as, yeah, they're on pretty high levels of ERS.
Yeah, ERS, very easy to burn around, Kota, as I've experienced in my past league racing. But as it stands, Scars still holding on to the back of Rutanius. Again, the tyre difference here is going to be absolutely vital. Scars are going to obviously have to pit a little bit earlier, but with that early pit stop, given that track position and that undercut that he might well be looking for, or Rutanius with that longer lasting hard tyre at the start, and then switching over to a slightly softer compound, is that going to help him in the long term? It's going to be a very interesting battle to see how the strategies will work out. But as it stands, we still have Stefano with a 3.4 second lead to Bushy. Stefano just looks so composed and in control right now, doesn't he?
Yeah, Stefano's just gapping everyone else. He has doesn't look to have any warnings, any penalties, has a good amount of ERS, and is just keeping the pace consistent. And that's what you want to do, and that's how you really win the race around here in Kota.
Yeah,
as,
Jamie Mills on the hard tyre as well. Really good stuff. So he's trying to find that pace that, unfortunately, the game made him lose at the start of the race under the safety car, where unfortunately he had a disconnection and desync. He's dropped down to P11, but he's now on the hunt to try and find extremely vital points. The man who started on pole position, he's got his work out for him, isn't he? Oh, and he's round as I say that. Oh, Jamie Mills, unfortunately, on the exit of turn 7, gets the car too loose and is facing the grass, and he's struggling to get out of there as well. He's having to let Bart pass. Yeah, and unfortunately for Jamie, he has dropped a lot of positions. He stays over to the right-hand side, tries to get back onto the tarmac at a safe location, and is able to do that. He's actually retired from the session now. Jamie Mills, who started on pole position in this race, looks so strong in the early stages as well. And unfortunately for Jamie, he is out one of the big contenders for this race.
There goes Bushy.
Oh, and Bushy's round on the exit.
Spun.
Bushy round on the exit, turn 19. The car getting too heavy on that rear, and he's facing the wrong way. The pressure from the Ferraris maybe getting to the Alpine driver a little bit. And unfortunately for him, he has dropped 2 very vital positions, and he has dropped a total of 5 seconds, nearly over 5 seconds to those Ferraris. And that's a big job from here, isn't it?
Yeah, now he's under pressure from resin behind. He'll be catching up on those medium tires. They should be still in good range, so well, good tire life. So hopefully he should be able to get within DRS and maybe reel Bushy in.
Absolutely. And Bushy will be extremely frustrated, but he's got to keep his head down. He's got to stay cool and calm. He's still got the 2 Ferrari drivers ahead of him, both of them with big penalties. The 5-second penalty to Rutanius and the 11 seconds to Scars. You know, it's still... I would still not write Bushy out from this race just yet.
Yeah, still a very long race. 40 laps remaining in this race, so yeah, long way to go. Still, pit stops haven't been made for most of the drivers, except for the Aston Martin at the back. So yeah, and we might see a inter-team rivalry between the Ferraris, as now Scars will have the DRS advantage on his teammate. And could we see a move between the 2 of them here, possibly?
Well, we'll have to wait and see, but Rutanius getting a little bit loose on the exit of turn 16. And, well, we'll have to wait and see what happens to these guys. But, of course, there's Constructors' Championship points to be won between these 2, so they've got to make sure they keep it still between the 2 of them and make sure that any fighting they have is completely fair and clean. First overtaking opportunity down towards turn 1. Scars now DRS with that DRS wide open. He's a little bit low on the ERS, as you said earlier, and he's still struggling to maintain that. But he might be at this stage looking to maybe just stay behind Rutanius and try and charge up that battery a little bit. Rutanius in P2 has a decent amount of ERS, so he could probably hold Scars off should he need to. But at the moment, Scars is struggling a little bit, to say the least, behind his teammate, isn't he?
I don't really think he is struggling. I think he's just kind of saving the battery.
It could well be, yeah.
He'll have the DRS advantage. So, yeah.
And it's been made a little bit more easy for them by the fact that Bushy has spun around. But, of course, with the penalties that they have, they still have to keep moving on. They still have to keep pushing. And Rutanius, again, will be looking to hold his teammate up. It'll be interesting to see what the plan is in that Ferrari garage, whether they'll be looking to help each other, whether they're looking to fight each other. I'm sure whatever happens, there are definitely going to be words spoken about their races after, but Scars doesn't really seem to catch a lot in the straight, does he? Which kind of indicates to me that they are more trying to work together. Yeah. I think they are trying to work together to try and push up towards Stefano. And you do wonder if that's the best thing to do with Scars on the medium tyres. Maybe the plan is to try and help Scars on the medium tyres. Try and take them a little bit longer than they initially planned and preserve that tyre life a bit more. And Scars goes round! Scars round at turn of 14! Dear. Huge in this race as Bushy now surpasses. Scars is in a bit of an awkward position. And unfortunately, after just saying he might be looking after his tyres, he's now burned up the rear tyres and has dropped a considerable amount of position. Stays on the inside to allow other cars to fly by. Safso will sneak in just behind him, and Scars drops all the way down at P8, and those tyres are not going to be in great condition. He decides to divert into the pit lane here, Scars. So what tyre will we see from here? Will we see the hard tyres, or will we see a soft tyre? Probably going to be a hard from here, surely, isn't it? Oh, no, Scars is out!
Oh, he's retired.
He's retired from the session. Interesting decision to make in the on lap 18. Not really sure if that was the best decision to make. There's still so much to play for in a race that's this long, but Scars has decided to call it a day, and he is out, unfortunately for him. Bushy Ants now with a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, Bushy just picked up that penalty now. He must be not really feeling the pressure from the car behind, but must be trying to push to get back within the Ferrari's DRS, but he's quite far back. Yeah, we've got a yellow flag at the exit of turn 1, I think. I don't see anyone. Oh no, that's just Scars' car. Actually, never mind, ignore me. That's just Scars' car moving over to the side after the retirement from the pit lane. So ignore them yellow flags in sector 1 at the moment. Destin is currently 0.8 off of Dirt Chocolate at the moment, who has struggled so far in the opening stage of this race. Further around the field, got quite a lot of gaps over at the moment, but the main focus right now, I guess, would be that battle for P4 between Razin and Marcus. There's a 4.1 second gap between Marcus and Liam, and Razin is currently 2 seconds off of Bushy at the moment. So the fight for P4 very much alive at this stage of the race. Yeah, we could see a move from Destin on Dirk, but right now he's a little bit too far back. He got a not too great exit onto the back straight, but yeah, we could see a move possibly in the next few laps. Yeah, from Destin posing up a lot to Dirk Chocolate, who does have that 3-second penalty. Not many individuals actually with penalties at the moment. Stefano, who does lead this race, Liam down in P6, Safso his teammate, Hayden Gullis in P9, Kunst and Destin all penalty free at the moment. We have got a few drivers who are struggling with their track limits at this stage of the race as well, and with so long to go as well. Oh, and Destin, oh, great catch from Destin as he, got in that dirty air of the Red Bull, and brilliant save to hold on to it as well, and does keep himself within that second to Dark Chocolate, and then will get that DRS as well. So nice catch from Destin, and he'll be able to continue in this race, thankfully, compared to some of the others. Yeah, now look how much time he just gained in turn 1 alone. So he really does have the pace, but it's currently being held up by Dirk ahead of him. So he'd possibly want to make the move on the next straight. But that really depends if he's able to stay close within the edges. As you can see, he dropped back a little bit. So yeah, he might be struggling a little bit with downforce, but ooh, Dirk goes extremely wide there, and compromises his line for the next corner. So can we maybe see Destin make the move? It looks like he's struggling in the corners, but has a decent amount of straight line speed. Yeah, Dirk really struggling to keep that car in a rhythm that he likes at the moment, and we could well be seeing a move out from turn 11 down towards turn 12. It's a very long straight. You can see nearly speed of nearly over 200 miles an hour sometimes down here, depending on the setup, of course. And as Destin heads down towards that tight hairpin, and he's not quite close enough to make that move he wants on the Chocolate, and you just wonder when that move is going to happen. But there's still quite big gaps across the field at the moment, with 13 drivers remaining, with still 36 laps to go. It's not quite what we want to see in the first race of the season, but Stefano still grabbing this race by the throat at the moment, and he is well on course to achieve something quite memorable in the first race of the season. Yeah, he's just constantly improving his gap to the car behind every single lap. But back on with Destin, he looks to have gotten a good exit. He's going to get DRS. Does he deploy some of his ERS? Yes, he does. Can he possibly make the move in the turn 1? Look at him. He's got a straight line speed. Yeah. DRS on ERS. Does he make the move on the inside?
He does indeed. Yes, is he going to make that corner? He does. has to try and watch for that apex, and Destin does move
but
up.
Dirk gets out
Oh,
a
Dirk.
monstrous exit.
Brilliant exit from Dirt Chocoleague. Done the switchback on him there, and does move back ahead of Destin. And Destin has to accept that he's lost the position after looking like he just won it.
Yeah, just that exit from Dirk was just too powerful for Destin to handle. So that must tell us he must have a lot of real downfalls to get that type of exit, or must have just got an excellent run, because it looks like it looked like Destin got a horrible entry into that corner. So yeah, but now he's gonna have another shot with DRS. Maybe can he make the move stick this time, or does he even, or is he even able to make the move? That's the real question.
Destin closing up a little bit down towards the hairpin. He's going to try and make a move here. No, decides against that at the moment. So Destin going to have to wait a little bit longer to try and pass Dirt Chocolate, who has defended that position very well. And even though he's still not quite in the points average position, will still matter for some drivers in the championship. So Dirk at the moment holding on to Destin. We've still got Marcus hanging right behind the back of Raz in that Alpha Tauri.
Oh, Destin's done binned it.
Oh, Destin round at turn 13, at turn 14, sorry. And Dirk probably going to be a bit relieved of the pressure at the moment. Destin facing the wrong way out at turn 14. And unfortunately for him, he has probably lit up those rear tires a bit too much. You have to be very careful not to spin out once more, because it's super easy to do that. Once those rear tires are lightened up, it's so difficult to get them back down. So unfortunately for Destin, he's now dropped a lot of positions. I think Kunst has pit. He has indeed. Kunst has pit on lap 13. We've also seen some moves between...
Joe.
Yeah, Joe has just lost out to Safso in a Mercedes down towards the hairpin. We're seeing some moves happening now. We're seeing them gaps starting to form and to reshape, and Joe has had to lose out position to Safso. Unfortunately, we've got a yellow flag.
Oh, is that Dirk?
So is that Dirk? That is Dirk. Dirk has also lost it now down towards the S section, and this could be a chance for Destin to get back up towards Dirk after just losing it several corners beforehand. So we may well see the fight back on between these two.
Yeah, he's right there within DRS as well. So yeah, both of them spinning as this brought back the fight.
Yeah, it has indeed. And
two of them.
Keep an eye behind them as well. Kunz and the Aston Martin has just put on a fresh set of medium tyres, and he maybe will be looking to try and attack these guys at some point as well. But he's got to be very careful, because they're going hammer and tong at it this time round as Destin moves down the inside of Dirk Chocolate, and Dirk, who unfortunately for him looked like he was relieved of pressure, has now unfortunately had to deal with the consequences of the pressure, and is unfortunately dropping down to Destin at the moment. And all self-inflicted really by those two drivers, wasn't it? Yeah, and Kunz at the moment in P13. He's going to want to try and get past these guys ASAP. Fresh mediums, but cold mediums, so he's got to be a little bit careful when he tries to make the move, as Dirk runs a little bit wide, and Kunz is watching that carefully to make sure he doesn't have a collision with him, as Dirk runs wide once again, struggling a lot to keep on the track right now, isn't he, Dirk? I don't know whether those tyres maybe are starting to bear down a little bit, or if he's just struggling with the setup. But we may well see the move from Kunz. He's got a little bit of ERS to play with, and he is going to make that move on Dirt Chocolate, who doesn't really try to fight it. And Kunz down the inside towards turn 1. Is Dirk going to try and find a way past, or is he going to just accept that he's lost position? I think he's just accepted it this time. Yeah. And now Kunz will be looking to get past Destin as soon as possible as well.
Yeah, Aston Martin will have the freshest tyres out of everyone, and even if they are cold, they'll definitely have better grip than 20-lap-old mediums for sure.
Absolutely.
So yeah, he will be making an impact, and he might even make the move on Destin right now, in fact.
Yeah, the DRS zone. Yeah, the DRS zone coming up now for the Aston Martin. Let's keep an eye on that battle between Marcus and Razin, who have just been kind of getting close with each other every now and then, but Marcus now to make the move, and this time Kunz on the exit actually didn't even do it down towards the turn 12. He did it out of turn 11, and Kunz is quite easily past Destin, and it's a bit close down towards the hairpin. Kunz should be able to maintain that position now, though, as Marcus is getting closer and closer towards Razin in P4. Of course, the time penalty difference at the moment, 5 seconds to Marcus, 8 seconds to Razin, so there's a 3-second penalty difference between the two drivers, and we may well see some battling between these guys very soon.
Yeah, indeed. Might see a pretty interesting fight between them, but right now we're gonna have to wait. But Razin and Marcus Marcus is still stuck behind in DRS.
Does close up a little bit.
Got quite a bit of battery.
Yeah, he's got this a bit of battery left, and Razin, not really quite as much on the battery side of things. So Marcus at the moment, he is in the better position on that hard tyre as well, so you got to say Marcus is probably going to be thriving a little more on this, but you do wonder if staying behind Razin may hurt his overall lap times. We'll see. Bushy ahead of them currently, 3.8 seconds behind Rutenius. I think he's slowly been making his way back up towards Rutenius, but not quite as quickly as he wanted to. Razin has been keeping that gap fairly steady between him and Bushy at the moment. But again, you got to say, Stefano. Oh, and actually saying that Rutenius in the hard tyre has actually just pit. Rutenius pits on lap 24 on the hard tyre. It serves that 5-second penalty as well. Let's see what tyre he's decided to opt for. He's gone for a set of soft tyres, is that? Have I just said on the Ferrari? It is.
A strange option.
It is indeed. So Rutenius probably going for a two-stop strategy from here, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. He's just committed to that. Because there's no way the softs will be making it to the end of this race. Nearly over 30 laps he's going to have to do on them. But yeah, no way he's able to do that.
Absolutely not. So would that be a hard, soft, medium strategy for the Ferrari driver? Just going to be a little bit careful on the outlet to make sure that he does keep them in a good temperature range. Has come out in P7. He's got a 4.4 second gap to Savster at the moment. So he's got a little bit of clean air, but he probably will have to pass a couple of drivers if he wants to try and make some ends up in this race, doesn't he?
Yeah, indeed.
Destined.
But yeah, focusing back on the back, we got Dirk versus Destin, round 3, in fact.
Yeah, and
or
Destin,
is this round 4? I'm not too sure, but
Round
yeah, Dirk
infinite by the
wants
seems
to
of
make
it.
the move. Yeah.
Destined right now with that 3-second penalty. He just claimed that one, so Dirk with the 3-second penalty difference between those guys as well. Dirk has 6 seconds, Destin with 3 seconds. So we'll see how these guys face off against each other one more time. And also gap spreading around the field. Stefano with an 11.5 second gap to Bushy now. So he's gained that gap about 2 or 3 seconds in the last 2 laps or so. So I wonder if Bushy has possibly made a mistake somewhere.
Stefano's in the box.
Oh, Stefano in as well. Yes, you're right. And he's got on the hard tyres. So there's the one-stop strategy we're seeing in effect there. He's probably responding to Rutenius as well, who obviously just pit for soft tyres. Stefano probably not aware that he's booked for soft tyres, but he's on the hard tyres now. One-stop strategy for Stefano is well on course, but that seems a bit.
Yeah, but Stefano will have to heat up those hard tyres as quickly as possible if he wants to make a as quick as an impact as he possibly can, as a Bushy will be carrying on for a little bit more longer and then box the mediums and then maybe catch up at the end of this race.
Absolutely, and he has a 3-second gap to Marcus at the moment, who I have to say is looking very close to Razin this time round. Are we going to see an overtake this time round from the Aston Martin driver? It's not quite the exit Razin was looking for. A bit of wheel spin from Marcus as he tries to push out the corner, and now we're finally going to see an overtake from Marcus. He's decided to bite the bullet this time round, and it's time to go, he says. He goes up to P2. Razin drops the position on the medium tyres, and I wonder if those medium tyres now are starting to reach their end of life span as Razin drops the position and is now down to P3 with Stefano on the hard tyre, now starting to catch him.
2 seconds back, so he'll be within there. I'd say in about at least 2 laps, or maybe next lap if his tyres are heated up. As I said in qualifying, those tyres do take a long time to heat up, but it's looking like he might have the grip now. But we could see Razin in the pits pretty soon, and as I say that, he does go into the pits.
He is indeed. So if he is doing the one-stop strategy like Stefano, then we will see him diverting onto the hard tyres as well. As Stefano now goes back up to P3, Razin heads into the pit stop, and it does look like the hard tyres are going on. He's got front wing also being put on the car as well, so he's had front wing damage for a good portion of this race. There go the medium tyres, on go the hard tyres, the front wing being swapped around as well. Unfortunately for him, he's going to drop quite a couple of positions from that extra front wing change. It's a lengthy pit stop because of it, and Razin, well, I wonder, he was holding that pace quite well with the damaged front wing that I didn't even notice of. I wonder what he could do on the hard tyres with the full front wing.
I don't even think he might have not even noticed the other wing damage, and that might have just been a surprise to him. So
maybe
he might not be happy with getting that wing change, as he must have felt comfortable on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he is on that new wing at the moment, so we'll see if he does try to get some extra speed at the moment as we are on board with the Ferrari of Rutenius, who is currently 3 tenths behind Savso. Every tenth that Rutenius can gain right now is absolutely vital to the end of this race. He's cleared that 5-second penalty he got in the early stages, and now he's on the hunt. Savso is going to lose out in that position to Rutenius. Down the inside goes Rutenius, and before they meet the apex of the corner, Rutenius is up into the top 5 once again, but we are still awaiting pit stops from several drivers at the moment. Bushy, Marcus, and Liam ahead of Rutenius. Those are the ones still yet to pit, so keep an eye on the pit stop for Bushy whenever that happens, because he could come out not too far off Rutenius.
Yeah, he's still carrying on for now, and I think he has a decent amount of tyre wear left. He might box in maybe, I'd say, maybe 35, 34. Those laps would be the prime time, so
Well,
could see that pit stop pretty soon.
Yeah, it looks like the medium tyres have lasted around 23, 24, 25 laps around that mark, so it would make sense to see the tyres dropping off around the lap 32, 33 mark maybe. We'll have to wait and see what the drivers think about their strategies, but there's still a few drivers on the medium tyre who are out there at the moment. From the start of the race, of course, DatGuyVince is one of those, and Destin is one of those as well. So we'll see when they decide to pit, and they'll probably be pitting fairly soon, I'd imagine, but right now they are still battling with each other, and well, we'll have to see how the strategy plays out between those guys as well, I guess.
Yeah, indeed. So currently, we're gonna go back on board with. I'm gonna go back on board with Bushy right now. See what he might be, what times he might be putting up. He's currently 1/10 of his PB, so he's holding on with a steady pace so far, and yeah, it doesn't seem to be faltering, except for that mistake he did make, which was a shame, because he would have been much more in the fight with Stefano if he didn't make that mistake.
Absolutely. Destined into the pits now, so he makes the early jump on Dirk. Hard tyres going on for Destined as well. The one-stop strategy is the one he's committing to, and that's the move that DatGuyVince needs to watch now. So we'll keep an eye on that strategic battle down in the stages of the race. And Bushy has just made his first lapped car here as well. Of course, Bushy's still yet to pit, but he has just met Destined, and he has lapped in Rutenius on the soft tyre, putting in work. 1:37.6 on the soft tyres, but is he going to make up enough time to really justify that two-stop strategy that he's going to be opting for at the moment? He's making up good time, and he's closing in on Liam. Stefano is only a few tenths behind Marcus at the moment, being held up a little bit through sector 1, so Stefano will be looking to try and get past sooner rather than later on the Aston Martin. There's no immediate rush for the McLaren, who has got a very big lead, and look at that, Marcus didn't even want to battle that one. He gave that one up, probably looking for the DRS as well to help himself out. So Stefano up into P2. Marcus, oh, huge snap. Huge snap for Marcus on the exit of turn 11. And although he's got the DRS, he's probably lost a lot of time from that little bit of dirty area he might have got from Stefano as well. So Stefano, fairly easy position for him to take. Marcus drops down to P3. And his strategy will be very interesting as well against some of the other drivers. So at the moment, it's just more of a patience battle to see when we'll see the hard tyres pitting. And a strategic battle I'm quite looking forward to see, actually. See who will come out on top. Rutenius has gained over a second this lap on Liam in P4. Liam, who has been quite quiet so far this race, but has done a pretty solid job so far, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done a pretty good job. Keeping out of trouble, and it's just for getting on with his race. And what I think Marcus was doing before he made that mistake was trying to get DRS and maybe even try and make the move back on Stefano down the straight, but obviously that didn't work out. He didn't have the traction needed for that maneuver.
It would have been interesting if he wanted to try and battle Stefano, considering he's not really in the same race as him. Of course, Marcus hasn't pit so far. Stefano on 4-lap old hard tyres, so difference in strategy between those guys. Very interesting that Marcus did that, but maybe he's just trying to conserve a little bit of the DRS or something. But either way, Marcus has got the position now, and Rutenius 1.6 off of Liam at the moment, who I'm sure probably also won't fight the position too much, but if it can fight the position, he may well be on course to actually finish ahead of Rutenius, because track position, of course, just as important as an overcut undercut here.
Yeah, and right now, Destin has been lapped by Bushy, as he made his pit stop onto a set of hard tyres.
Yeah. So he will unlap himself, of course, when Bushy does decide to call it a day on the hard tyres. But at the moment, he has got...
That would depend if Stefano doesn't lap him already.
Does indeed,
if that's
yeah.
the case, then he'd be out.
It does, and Stefano is not too far off of lapping Destin either. Of course, both of those are teammates as well. I'm getting a Lando Norris and Danny Ricciardo in Monaco vibe from these two.
Yeah, indeed. Wasn't a good weekend for Ricciardo, obviously.
No, and it's not looking like a fantastic weekend for Destin here either, so we'll see what happens between these two, but Stefano closing in quite quickly. And Bushy has bit the bullet on lap 28. Bushy and... 29, sorry. Bushy has pit onto a new set of tyres. Now, is he going to go on the mediums for the rest of the race? Yes, he is. 26 laps on the medium tyres. They will make it, but it's going to be a little bit sketchy towards the end, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. As well, my bad. As we saw Stefano go on for 23 laps, and I think he was struggling at the end of his stint. So yeah, it will be very close. But obviously, fuel will be less than what Stefano was on when he was on the medium. So tyre wear may be a little bit better, and the track grip will be improving as through the race as well. So yeah.
Yeah, Rutanius is closing down the Mercedes of Liam at the moment. Only 4 tenths between those guys, so I'm expecting a move to happen very, very shortly. Bushy has come out 4.8 seconds behind Rutanius, as we do see that move happen between Liam and Rutanius. Whether Liam get the position up or not, I didn't quite see. But Rutanius is passed. Liam's going to have the DRS this time round, but I don't think he'll really have enough to be able to challenge. We'll keep an eye on it just in case it does decide to have a go at him, but I don't think it's closing enough. And Rutanius should hold that position down towards turn 12, and so he does. So Bushy, 4.4 seconds off of Liam now. It's clear what his objective is to try and get at the end of the race on those tyres. Will be quite difficult, but of course he's got to get those tyres up temperature as soon as possible. He is well on course for a podium this race, to say the least. The other man I want to keep an eye on is, of course, Marcus. He's 4 seconds ahead of Rutanius. Both of those guys still yet to pit. Both of those guys probably going to the medium tyre as well. So we'll keep an eye on how that battle plays out strategically as well. It's a very strategical game right now, isn't it, Evil, to see who will come out on top.
Yeah, Bushy will be wanting to get to the end of this race, and on those mediums he should be lapping significantly faster than Stefano, as I'm currently looking at the gap to lead that he's already caught up by 3 tenths in this lap already, well, in the last sector, as his tyres have just warmed up. So could see a fight later on if Bushy keeps up this pace and continues to lap faster than Stefano. So that would be a best case scenario for us. Get a good show.
Absolutely. And looking down towards the 7th and 8th spot right now, Razin is currently hunting down Hayden Gullis, who decides to go for a late apex, and they could be will to will down towards the S's here, but Hayden just keeps himself in front at the moment. And Razin on 5-lap old hard tyres, Hayden on 30-lap old. So he's been on those hard tyres since the start, as have several drivers at the moment. Dark Chocolate on the medium tyres is still going, by the way. I wonder if he's maybe trying to stretch to a soft tyre and do a medium to soft. That would be a hell of a strategy if he did that, but whether that's going to be the one to do, I mean, that's only for him to know, really. But Razin still harassing the back of that Alpine rear wing of Hayden Gullis at the moment, and I think we'll see that move down towards turn 12.
Yeah, look, he's going to have DRS now, and we'll have ERS. Let's see, can he make the move now? Does he have the significant straight line speed advantage? Looks like he does. Look at him gain right there, and he'll go down the inside, I'm sure of it.
That
and we'll get him done into the next corner.
Oh, maybe not, because Hayden Gullis sticks around the outside. Is going to try and hold on. It's a wheel-to-wheel battle between Hayden Gullis and Razin. And Hayden Gullis, not giving this one up, has got the outside line. And Razin with extra grip. Oh, down the inside goes Hayden. What a move that is to try and hold on to the position. And Hayden Gullis back in front of Razin round the outside as they head down the triple right-hander now. And Razin still holding that outside line. Brilliant battling between these two. And Hayden is still wheel-to-wheel with him. Still holding that outside line. Gets shoved a little bit wide by Razin. And Razin nearly loses control of the car. Brilliant battling. And down the inside now goes Razin towards the final corner. And I think, hopefully for him, this time it's move made. What a battle that was.
Yeah, that was this fine example of racing with Hayden on the older tyres and still able to put up a fight like that. Brilliant defense from him, and yeah, Razin, brilliant overtake from him as well. So yeah.
brilliantly done by Razin, and I think with those fresher tyres, he'll probably be able to pull away now. But Hayden, he is a fighter. He doesn't give up those positions, and he really did not want to give up that one now, as we see Bushy now also. Yeah, Bushy back past Liam at the moment now. So Dark Chocolate with another 3-second penalty there. Still on those medium tyres. I really do wonder what he's trying to do on the strategy here, but Dark Chocolate still on the medium tyres in P12. And Liam has, unfortunately for him, dropped that position to Bushy, but I think expected, considering Bushy was on those fresh medium tyres.
Yeah, look at the gap. Look at the gap between Bushy and Stefano. He's now 9.7 seconds back. He is gaining a lot. He is really pumping out the times now. Will be wanting to catch up as fast as possible after that mistake. So, yeah, he's on it right now. And he
into the pits goes Liam. Liam in the pits. And
let's see where he comes out.
This is going to be an interesting moment in the race with 23 laps to go. Engineers and mechanics ready with those medium tyres. On they go. Switching out those hards up for mediums, and Liam exits the pit box. Where is he going to come out here? I think he's going to come out well ahead of Razin by the looks of it. He's just got to make sure he gets those tyre warm up quickly, and he will stay ahead of Razin quite comfortably. Liam, like I said earlier, a very quiet race, but having a very good race at the same time. And still a few drivers yet to pit. We've got Marcus in P2 who's yet to pit, with Retanius only 8 tenths behind him. So I think we'll see those guys battling out soon. I do wonder when those soft tyres are going to start dropping off for Retanius. But right now, they're still in fighting spirit, and he is putting that fighting spirit into it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the soft tyres haven't gone out yet, but it is expected. I predicted they were going for 12 laps at the beginning of this race. They should at least be stretched until maybe possibly 18 laps because of less fuel load.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now he's just sitting behind.
Oh, and there goes Bushy! Was that Bushy? That's Marcus, sorry. I thought it was Bushy for a second, but Marcus is around at turn 12, and that is a killer for his race. It was looking so strong for a good portion, looking after those tyres so comfortably, and you just wonder if now is that moment that those guys on the 32-lap-old hard tyres, I wonder if it's time for them to all pit now for the medium tyres, because that is a very early sign that they are deteriorating.
Yeah, and now that's one less car Bushy will have to get past because now he's 8.7 seconds behind Stefano. He's gaining at least 1 second in his last lap.
Absolutely huge gains for Bushy right now, and look at the gap between him and Retanius. I think those medium tyres are looking much better than those softs are in this stage of the race. Of course, 5-lap difference between Stefano's hards and Bushy's mediums. 4 laps for Bushy's mediums and 9 for Stefano. Safso has pit that lap. Marcus, I think, actually stayed out, interestingly enough. So Safso could get a lovely little undercut here if he gets a clean run out. Safso drops behind his teammate, Liam, who moves up to P5. And Safso will exit the pits behind Razin as well. Will he drop behind Hayden? If he drops behind Hayden, that could be quite bad for him. And round the outside goes Hayden. Hayden is past Safso. Safso in a bit of a difficult position from here.
Yeah, but when he heats up those tyres, he'll be able to get past pretty easily, as Hayden still hasn't boxed. And it's on those 33-lap-old hards.
Yeah, and again, Dark Chocolate in P12. 32-lap medium tyres. I mean, fair enough, you've got the hard tyres, but medium tyres, they must be looking pretty spicy right now.
Oh, Bushy making the move.
Yeah, Bushy down the inside. Retanius not giving it up on those struggling soft tyres now. And Bushy makes the move up to P2. And now the hunt is on for that Alpine. He is 8.1 seconds behind Stefano. Will he make up enough of that time with 22 to go? It's looking good for Bushy right now, but of course, he does have that penalty that he needs to care for as well. Stefano, if he keeps the rest of this race clean, is still in a strong position, but look at the time Bushy's getting just from a couple of corners there, getting a couple of tenths. He's looking very quick at the moment with those medium tyres, but I do wonder if maybe he's trying to push so hard enough that it's actually going to affect his medium tyre at the end of this race. We'll see as Retanius enters the pit on lap 35. What tyre is up for him? It is the medium tyre. And this is where you do wonder if this is the right strategy for Retanius. And he is going to come out.
I think it is all right.
Where's he going to come out? Is he going to come out ahead of Liam? I think he will. It's going to be a little bit tight between them, I think. Yeah, he will. He's quite well clear of
yeah, he's ahead.
Yeah. But then again, the tyre difference between those two is not too far off. And Retanius is going to have the cold tyres in the late stage of this race. So Liam, it's within a shout here, you know, with the warm tyres.
I'm starting to think him going to the softs may have been a mistake, because quite frankly, his strategy does not quite make a lot of sense.
Yeah, We'll have to find out
Because
after
he
the race.
went onto the softs from the hards and he's on the mediums now. He should just went straight to the mediums. He just cost himself at least a pit stop of time.
Yeah, maybe he thought he could make that pit stop time up in a stint of the softs, but I don't think it's really worked out that way for him. And
yeah, it really hasn't.
No, and Liam is within that second I expected him to be within now. He's got a little bit of the RS usage as well as Britannius does too as well, to be fair, but I think Britannius might be able to hold on to that position as long as he gets the tyres warmed up quickly. And look at the gap between Stefano and Bushy now, 7.1. Am I seeing over a second gained in a lap there from Bushy?
Yeah, he's on fire right now.
He's on fire.
For it right now.
And again, as I said earlier, I do wonder if pushing that medium tyre right now is going to hurt him at the end of the race. 20 laps to go. He's been on the tyres for 6 laps. It's going to be interesting at battle within this race. And Stefano, I wonder what he's thinking right now. We got a yellow flag in sector 1. I think that's Destined who's gone round. It is indeed. Destined has gone round on the exit of turn 1. Of course, he's been lapped by a couple of the drivers. We'll probably be lapped by a few more now. And that's going to help out Doug. I still don't really know what Doug's strategy is here. 34 lap old medium tyres. And Bart in P9 is also pit here. So he's dumping off those old hard tyres. He'll be putting on a new pair of boots. Whether he goes for the mediums or softs, we're about to find out. And they are medium tyres. I do think Doug might well be trying to do a medium soft here, which does seem to be a very difficult strategy to pull off.
Yeah, it's going to be incredibly difficult, but right now he's just been lapped by Bushy. Getting out of the way there, and look at Bushy now, he's only 6 seconds back. He is really, really going for it. He knows that he has the pace to potentially win this race, and now he's just showing it to Stefano, as I think Stefano is just saving his battery in the lead and just waiting for Bushy to catch up so he can just defend. Yep,
and Bushy right now is on a mission, a man on a mission in that Alpine. 5.6 behind Stefano. He is applying that pressure, and I think this is the strategy difference we were seeing in the early stages of this race, where Stefano had that edge of the medium tyres, whereas Bushy was on the hards, and now we're seeing the medium tyres of Bushy starting to have that edge over the hard tyres of Stefano. This is how different a strategy can make up right now, and Bushy, of course, would probably be in the lead of this race right now if he didn't have that spin earlier on.
Yeah, most likely he would have, but I think Stefano would have been able to defend from him, because right now he's just taking his time saving his battery and is just currently waiting. So this fight probably would have happened earlier on, but yeah, Stefano looks to be in the box seat right now with the most battery out of everyone else.
Britannius putting in the first lap of the race on his fresh medium tyres. I think we'll probably be seeing a few more as the fuel starts to burn down and the track starts to rubber up and the tyres start to peak more. So I expect a few more purple laps being put in over the course of the next 19 laps. We have less than 20 to go here in the first race of the Choco League season. And right now it's Stefano who is the man standing at the top step, but a very hungry Bushy Ants who is looking to make up for his early mistake. Only 4.7 behind, gaining big lap after lap. The tyre difference that our mediums seem to have right now is exceptional, and Bushy is pulling every tenth he can out of that tyre, and he's doing such a fantastic job right now.
Yeah, he's gained around 7 tenths in that last sector alone. That is just incredible. Really,
really strong showing from Bushy right now. Further back, we've got Britannia still on P4, of course. Marcus still on the hard tyres, as well as Hayden Gullis. They're the only 2 on the hard tyres who are yet to pit at the moment. So it'd be very interesting to see what their plan is. I reckon they might be trying to look for a soft tyre as well in the latter stages. You said that the soft tyres could probably put around 12 to 15 laps in, didn't you? So I wonder if we'll see those soft tyres being utilised. Yeah, maybe. So we may well see the soft tyres being utilised very soon by those guys, and it'll be interesting to see what happens to their strategy if so. Looking down in the battle for P6 between the AlphaTauri of Razin and the Mercedes of Savso. Savso, of course, on the medium tyres. 4-lap old medium tyres, and Razin on the 12-lap old hard tyres there. So looking pretty good for Southside to try and get themselves position here. Of course, Razin with that penalty as well. I think every penalty we're seeing right now are all track limit violations. I don't believe anyone has a 5-second penalty anymore. I think they've all been cleared, unless Marcus got one. I don't.
Marcus.
Did he have one as well? Did he?
Yeah, he has one right now.
Yeah, you're right. He does. So
He
yeah,
hasn't boxed.
he hasn't boxed, and with that 5-second penalty, he's going to drop a few positions here, I think. Probably go down towards where Aiden Gullis is, I reckon. But Safso closing in on Razin as they head through Sector 3, where it gets a little bit tricky, where tire temperatures are absolutely vital. And it's going to be a really interesting tale to the story between Safso and Razin and Bushy. 4.2 behind as Safso had to lift a lot going through in triple right-handed. It's so easy to lose the car on that section of the track, and Safso making sure he doesn't lose it. But he's 4.5 tenths, 5 tenths now behind. Razin 6 tenths of time fluctuating a lot as they go through the corners. Safso has a little bit of ERS usage to have, and as does Razin, probably about equal on their ERS at the moment. So it'll be very interesting to see how these guys will face up against each other. Safso with that extra grip right now is going to be trying to get closer and closer on each corner and then pull the trigger on a move. And we might well see it actually on this lap. Retanius is 1.1 seconds behind Marcus at the moment, as Razin had a little bit of a poor middle part of the Sector 1 there. And we are now seeing Safso right on the back of that AlphaTauri rear wing. You can see that label as clear as day now as they head down towards 10-11. This is Safso versus Razin, AlphaTauri versus Mercedes. It's hards versus mediums. And here goes Safso. Is this the moment we're going to see the Mercedes surpass the AlphaTauri? Down the inside he goes on the main straight, and Safso with that overspeed. Easy as you like. I think Razin made that a little bit easier for the fact that he had a bit of a poor Sector 1.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've actually seen a Mercedes been able to overtake an AlphaTauri. If you remember Imola in real life. Yeah. So yeah, look at Bushy. He's 3.6 back. He is still gaining, but it's kind of a little bit stalled, and he's mostly gaining his time on the last sector now. So yeah, I think that's where Stefano really is saving probably. But yeah, Bushy's still pushing on and is still gaining on Stefano.
Yeah, 3.3 seconds the gap now between the front two. Let's have a quick look at the penalty that Bushy has. It's a 3-second penalty, so not only does he need to get past Stefano, he needs to gap him by over 3 seconds to secure the win. And that's going to be easier said than done, I think.
Yeah, indeed. But now, I'm going to go take a look at Marcus, who's still needs to pit. I'm not too sure why he is still stretching the tyres, and yeah, it's quite confusing why he's still going on, but he must be waiting on a safety car, or maybe waiting to put on the softs. Along with Hayden Gunnis as well, he's still going on with the hard tyres. He has no penalties, so he is doing pretty well with a grip, I assume. But yeah, it's pretty interesting why they haven't boxed yet.
Yeah, Dirt Chocolate also yet to pit as well, and he's on the medium tyres, so a lot of interesting strategy calls. It does make me wonder if they are looking for that soft tyre, and I think we could well be seeing those soft tyres being used up. I wonder if they're able to claw that time back that they're losing from staying on those tyres for so long. 2.7 seconds is the gap now between Bushy and Stefano. The time's still coming down, I think only by about 4 or 5 tenths this lap, so the margin coming down. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. I think that's Dirt kind of bit moment around the triple right-handers at 14 and 13. But he is okay, and he's still continuing at the moment. Destined is 2.2 seconds behind him, despite having that spin earlier on. So, yeah, really interesting strategies going on around the board right now. But it looks like Dirk will probably be dropping down to Destined fairly soon, I reckon. 2.5 seconds now, the gap between Bushy and Stefano. And Stefano does have a good bit of ERS usage available to him. Still over 50% on his ERS, whereas Bushy is about 25% by the looks of it on his Alpine. Retanius 19.8 seconds behind, so difficult to say he'll be getting anything out of the bag as Razin picks up a 3-second penalty again. That puts him at 6 seconds in total. We've got yellow flag in sector 2, and I think that's just someone being lapped. It is. Destin being lapped by a couple of cars here, so it was slowing down, which brought out the yellow flags, but no problem there. He lets those guys go, and they are continuing their lap. So let's have a quick recap on the penalties we currently have assigned to the drivers. Razin with a 6-second penalty right now. He's 15 seconds ahead of Hayden at the moment, so he probably is in good reach from him. But of course, oh, it's Razin! Oh, nearly colliding into the back of Dirk Chocolate, who is a back marker, of course. And I think Razin's getting a little bit frustrated here. Dirk not moving out the way and is kind of impeding the Alpha Tower at the moment. And now Dirk moves to the left-hand side, yeah. And that's a lot of time Razin has lost there, and I'm sure he'll be absolutely furious with Dirk for that one. And maybe the stewards will be looking at that one after the session as well. As Bushy now, 3-second penalty awarded to him. That's 6 seconds in total. That is going to hurt, and that is going to really put a dent in his chance of winning this race. With a 3-second penalty, it may well have been possible, but now he's on a 6-second penalty.
Yeah, Marcus is under a lot of pressure right now. Liam is right behind him and will be wanting to make the move as soon as possible. He's right, stuck behind in the S's, but he should get this move done when DRS happens.
Yeah, Marcus on those old hard tyres as well. Liam should be able to cruise by. You can see the hard tyres are just, they're not gripping. They're really struggling. And Marcus, again, had no grip out the corner, and Liam is able to find his way through. And I wonder if, again, Marcus is going to try and leech a little bit of that DRS now. He's still sitting right behind.
I think he will pull it off.
Yeah, he's right behind the Mercedes now. Is he going to try and overtake her? Surely not.
He is.
This is not his race.
Do on Stefano.
Yeah, and he is doing it. And Marcus gets back past Liam. And Liam holding around the outside. A nice late break round the outside of turn 12. And the outside becomes the inside to the next corner. Is Liam going to hold this move? He's got the inside line. Has Marcus got the grip? I don't think it does, but he's still going to try and hold the next inside line at turn 15 and 16.
Switchback.
And he does make that move count, but Liam now, with that switchback, looks to the left-hand side and the outside of the double right-hander, and they're still swapping positions here. Brilliant race between the two. Marcus not giving it up and squeezes him to the inside. Oh my goodness, that was very close. And Marcus now dips into the pit lane. So whether that was all worth it for Marcus, I have no idea. Really odd decisions to be made there, but Liam does get back past him now, and Marcus does drop the position and will probably go to the soft tyres. Now, let's see what tyre he does opt for, and it is the soft tyres. So, soft tyres on for him now, and Marcus will drop down the positions. Now, the gap between Bushy and Stefano is 1.1 seconds. But that 6-second penalty to Bushy is what could change this race.
Yeah, definitely. And Bushy's tyres will be starting to feel a little bit of pain, I'm sure of it. It's before you hit a flag, and yeah, that's not speed.
It was just the Aston Martin of Marcus.
Yeah, let's see what Bushy's able to do. He's only 1 step away from the DRS, and Stefano on 60% battery, so yeah, he's been saving. So yeah, let's see what Bushy's able to do now. I think he's in DRS now, so
yep.
This is going to be round 1 of a pretty long battle, I assume.
Yeah, and it's going to be
go to the end of this race.
A very interesting battle from here onwards. We have 12 laps to go on lap 44 of 56 here in the Circuit of the Americas. Bushy 6/10 off from Stefano, but that 6-second penalty that he has assigned to him is going to be what really determines the outcome of this race. Bushy has done absolutely exceptionally on those medium tyres to get back within contention of Stefano, and now it's Stefano's job to see what he can do. And Bushy now is closing, and we might actually see a move very soon from Bushy on Stefano as they head down towards turn 11. Make sure those tyres grip up, Bushy, because this could be the move we need to see in order to get this man a win in the race. Stefano is 5/10 ahead, and I think he might have used a bit of ERS there. I think, actually, Bushy switched off his DRS. No, Chocolate has been given another 3-second penalty there. And I think, actually, saying that, I believe he has actually finally pit. We can have a look at his tires. Yes, he's gone on the soft tires. Hayden Gullis also on the soft tires now. He's down in P9. Marcus has pit again, by the way. He was already pitting for a set of soft tires. Or was that Marcus a pit? I think he's actually done a 2-stop here. Yeah, that was Marcus' second stop, so I think he picked up a bit of damage at some point during that. And Marcus and Hayden are going at it with each other here. Hayden versus Marcus, out of turn 1, both of them on a fresh set of tires. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens between these guys. And right now, Hayden does hold ahead of the Aston Martin. Marcus is right behind him, and we could be keeping an eye on this battle for a while to come. Marcus is right behind that Alpine rear wing. And back at the top, of course, Bushy is 4/10 off of Stefano right now. Britannius is in a bit of no man's land right now. He's 21 seconds behind Bushy at the moment, and he's 9.8 seconds ahead of Liam. So he's in a very comfortable position. But as it stands, Bushy is having to try and find that move he needs. He's got a McLaren in front of him. That's Stefano, of course. And he's getting very close. We may well see the move now. How is Stefano's ERS looking? Let's take a look. Pretty good ERS on that McLaren. And now Bushy using up his DRS, using up his ERS, doing everything he can to try and find a way past, but he doesn't really get a lot of straight line speed here. I wonder if he's using that DRS. He is using that DRS. He wasn't really getting a lot in a straight line. Bushy not really got a straight line speed we expected.
Yeah, he just thinks Stefano is very, very well here. He's using it to maintain the gap and not let Bushy get as so he possibly can. I think he's actually trying to wait for Bushy's tires to go off as they're 15 laps. And going further down the grid, Marcus is like Hayden, and both on the soft, so this will be a pretty interesting and fair fight between the two of them. So might have to keep an eye on that as well.
Yeah, well, right now, they are front wing to rear wing. Bushy moving to the outside there. We saw the rear light blipping quite a bit. I wonder if he was just struggling a little bit there with the ERS. He's on the outside line. Outside becomes inside at turn 2. They're wheel to wheel with each other. Bushy holding that right-hand side. Stefano on the left-hand side. Stefano keeps his nose in front. And it is very tight between these two as they circle their way through the S's. Left to right, left to right. It's very tricky through those sections. And right now, Bushy has had to deal with the fact that he's not able to get past the McLaren at this time round. Marcus and Hayden are swapping positions back there as well. So we've got a couple of battles going on across the field. We've got Marcus versus Hayden Gullis, and we have Stefano versus Bushy. And at the top, there's battles in different positions on this track right now. They're the main ones we want to keep an eye on. Razzin is 2.5 off of Savso right now, but he is on 8-lap older hard tires there. So, yeah, very interesting stuff a minute. Very, very interesting stuff. As it stands, though, Bushy, 4/10 off of Stefano. Make that 2/10. And you just wonder when it's going to happen for him and if it's going to happen for him. Stefano, as he said, is managing brilliantly with that ERS as Marcus sets the fast lap of the session. And Aiden is still tailing him. So we are reaching the dying embers of this race now. And as it stands, it's Stefano to Bushy to retain, yes. But this race still not over yet.
Looks like Bushy's struggling a little bit with his ERS. Stefano's still maintaining a good amount to defend with, but I don't think he'll be able to carry on with this defense for another 9 more laps, as it looks like Bushy is going to get a good exit onto this mini run into the S's.
Yeah, and he is right behind Stefano. This is where the dirty air, of course, does affect the car behind quite a lot. And it's down to the Bushy to make sure he just keeps himself composed and just keeps an eye on where his car might be looking to go. But Bushy at the moment holding it all together. But Stefano, he's not succumbing to the pressure right now. And he is holding himself very strong against Bushy. And 5/10 is the gap. You just wonder if maybe those medium tires are starting to slip away from him a little bit now. As the gap sort of settles around 4/10, but with that 6-second penalty that Bushy's got, it just feels like this might be slipping away from the Alpine driver right now.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has a straight line speed. with the ERS advantage, disadvantage he has, it's starting to look less likely he'll get the move done soon. Maybe later on, but right now I think he should just save his battery and sit behind in DRS before it's too late.
Well, let's see what Bushy opts to do. With that 16 penalty he's got, it's going to be very difficult. Let's keep an eye on this battle between Hayden Gullis and Marcus. Both of those guys are on a fresh set of soft tyres. 3 laps old on each. Kuntz is also pit in the other Aston Martin for a fresh set of softs. So I wonder if he's going to try and push for the fastest lap. Dirk is also 12 seconds behind Destin at the moment in that McLaren. So we'll keep an eye on those times at the moment, and we'll see what ones are to be made. Again, Bushy looks super close through the opening of Sector 1. Just look how close is that rear wing of that McLaren. It's going to be a tricky move to make, and the overtaking difficulty probably quite high for this move. But Bushy is doing everything he can. He's throwing everything that he's got at Stefano to try and even possibly force him into an error, force him into a mistake of some sort that will just edge him in this race. But at the moment, 3/10 between the two, and it looks like Stefano uses a little bit of DRS here just to help push himself away. And even with DRS, Bushy not getting close once again. It's a story for the ending of this race, isn't it? Bushy getting close, but it's not enough.
Yeah, right now I think he's trying to make Stefano use all of his ERS, so he's defenseless next time around. He's currently succeeding at doing that, but it might take him another 2 more laps before Stefano's in the range that he could possibly get the move done.
Yeah. Bushy is still trying to find anything he can to put Stefano off in the slightest way, but it's proving difficult. And as I was saying, we've still got to keep an eye on a couple of battles elsewhere. We have Hayden Gullis, who was, I don't know what just happened there, but on my screen he just bugged out a little bit. But Hayden Gullis currently 1 second just under off of Marcus. He might actually be about to lose that second. There's a back marker of Dirt Chocolate on the right-hand side. Dirt's got to be careful of Hayden coming through here. And Hayden is back within that range of, what on earth is happening on my screen? Holy moly. That's... Hayden is all over the place on my screen, so we'll go on board with Marcus as we see Hayden 5/10 away from Marcus at the minute. And Hayden getting very, very close down towards the hairpin, but at the moment it's still not quite enough. We're seeing very similar situations with the battles in 1st and 2nd and in 8th and 9th. Back on board with Bushy Ants. 3/10 behind, and it's the same story. Getting close, but not close enough.
Still behind. He's not able to make Stefano use his battery. I think he's starting to struggle now.
Oh, and there goes a Bushy down the inside. He finally makes a move, but is it enough? No, it's not. A little bit of contact as they head down toward turn 16. And a Bushy did something. He wanted to do something, and this time he tried it. But Bushy not able to get past Stefano this time round as they banged wheels. And Stefano does just keep himself ahead. And Bushy gets another 3-second penalty there. So that's 9 seconds in total for Bushy now. And that might well be the nail in the coffin for the Alpine driver.
Yeah, at this point, I think he's just trying to race to get the position on track, just for the glory. But yeah, he's doing a pretty good job of trying to make the move, but his tyres will be starting to feel the pain now. So he doesn't have too much long left. 6 laps remaining. His tyres will begin to go off pretty soon, maybe even going off right now.
Yeah, 20 lap old medium tyres for Bushy and 25 lap old hard tyres. I think at this point, you might be seeing the hard tyre becoming the better tyre out of the two at the moment. Oh, and huge slide for Bushy out of turn 9, and he just kept it together. And that might be the tyre wear issues that we're starting to see, and I think we were anticipating at some point. He pushed so hard in the opening stage of the race, and it looks like it sort of just slipped away from Bushy a little bit here down towards the closing stages, and that might be it for Bushy.
Yeah, that's the final nail in the coffin. He doesn't have DRS. I don't think he's to be able to get back in within DRS with the tyre wear he has right now. Could be a possibility, but right now it's very unlikely as Hayden Gullis gets a time penalty and is still stuck behind Marcus right now, but he will have DRS.
Yeah, and
Will he be able to make the move?
that 3-second penalty is going to be a difference maker in this race for those two as they get very close towards turn 1. Oh, there's a couple of wheel banging there by the looks of it. As down the side goes Hayden Gullis. I think Marcus probably feels like there's a bit of forcing going on from both drivers there. Very, very, very interesting battling between those two. Marcus does drop the position, but Hayden with that 3-second penalty is still going to be in net P9 as it stands at the end of this race as we enter lap 51 or 56.
Yeah, this race has reached its climax right now, and Bushy's still within DRS range, so he's not giving up. He's not going to give up until the last lap, which is a good thing to see from him. So hopefully he's possibly maybe able to make the move.
Yeah, well, it'll have to be an on-track overtake, of course. And even if he does do that on-track overtake, it still probably won't be enough to see him through to the end of the race. But you've got to keep pushing all the way to the end. You never know. If you put enough pressure on, you could force Stefano into a mistake. But Stefano, so far this race, has been absolutely resilient. Starting lower down in P3 or P2, I think it was, on the grid. And he has coped brilliantly with the pressure. And he's coping with the pressure from Bushy perfectly well right now. It was P2 that Stefano started in. Bushy and starting in P3. Both those drivers, to be fair, to both of those drivers, huge respect to both of them. They've both put in a very good show for us.
Yeah, these two fastest drivers tonight, and shame we didn't get to see Jamie involved in this fight. This would have been much better.
Yeah, of course, Jamie, the man who started in pole position, was forced into retiring due to lobby and desyncing issues. So unfortunately, we won't be seeing him. And I think we just had a DNF. We've just had Marcus, and we've got a safety car in the final closing stages of this race. And suddenly, this race has turned on its head. Now, is it a serious safety car? It is a full safety car with 5 laps remaining here in the Choco League in the opening season. Wow.
The leaders missed the pit lane. They missed the pit lane.
Oh, so suddenly Rutanius enters the pit box. He's got a 15.7 second skip. Rutanius could well be on course to win today's race out of absolutely nowhere. This could be exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. On go the soft tires for Rutanius. And this race, who we thought had reached its climax, we are far from it. We are far from reaching that climax. We're going to have a couple laps of safety car, and then we're going to have 2 laps of all-out racing here in Kota, and everything is going to matter. Everyone behind Bush and Stefano are all pitting for soft tires. Liam, Safso, Razin, all pitting for the soft tires. This is going to be an absolutely incredible finish to the Circuit the Americas Grand Prix.
Yeah, this is going to be a very exciting end, and the leaders will be wanting the safety car to hurry up so they could box, but I don't think they'll have enough time to.
It's not going to happen. There's a 31-second gap between Bushy and Rutanius, and that time is going to come down a lot. Where have I seen a safety car in the last few laps of a Grand Prix before?
Well,
brings back some memories, I'd say.
Yeah, Abu Dhabi.
Andy Lewis fans in here right now are not going to be very happy with this. But this has absolutely been incredible, and we are going to see a fight to the death between these guys. And honestly, I think
the leaders
Bushy,
might still box.
They could, but they're running out of time, and it's going to be very tight. The problem we have with Bushy now, though, is the fact that he's got a 9-second penalty. He's going to drop a lot of positions because of time penalties right now.
Yeah, I think Stefano will box, most likely. He will only lose 2 places.
And they go. Oh, Stefano debating him into the pits. And Bushy pits. Where is he going to come out here? So Stefano stays out on the hard tires. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my.
Incredible stuff here in Kota. Has Bushy made the right decision here, Evil?
I think so, but I think Stefano should have boxed. He has no time penalty. He will only be stuck behind Rutanius, and we'll just have to make the move on him. But there's a lap car in the way. He might be thinking he has the pace on those hards to beat out Rutanius. So, yeah.
That lap car is Kunst in P10. So he will be blue flagged in the early stages race, of course. Cars will not be allowed to overtake the safety car. Unless, of course, we get a safety car bug, but I very much hope we don't. Still quite a few cars to catch up, though, but I think the safety car is probably going to be in this lap as we get a few laps of fighting.
Yeah, most likely. But yeah, this is a very, very exciting end to the race, I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect timing, more like.
I've also noticed that Destined in P11 also didn't pit for the soft tyres, oddly enough. I don't know if he's not got a set or...
He's still on the hards.
Yeah, and Dirk has also decided not to pit as well. So a couple of opportunities missed for those guys maybe to get free positions. But Dirk is on the soft tyres already, 11 lap old, but they are probably getting towards their latter stages. So it's all coming towards an incredible finish here in the Circuit of Americas. You can hear Liam trying to burn that fuel down. And this is going to be exceptional, absolutely, isn't it? So, Rutanius is the man to keep an eye on. Everyone's battery is going to be fully charged. Let's see if the safety car will be in this lap or the next lap. We're on lap 55-56 right now. And judging by the fact that we've not seen any signs of the safety car coming in this lap, I think we're going to have another lap under the safety car, which probably helps Stefano quite a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it would do. Less laps for him to defend. So, yeah.
Well, what a finish we are in for here in the Circuit of Americas. Safety car does stay out for one more lap, but I don't imagine it will stay out for many more. And this could be an incredible finale to this race. I don't think anyone would have anticipated this, given the way the race was going. We had a safety car right at the start of the race, and now we've had a safety car right at the end of the race. Brilliant stuff here in Kota, and it's Marcus, unfortunately for him, who didn't have that. I don't actually know what happened to Marcus. I saw the yellow flags in Sector 1, and the safety car was brought out very briefly after, so I couldn't see exactly what happened to the Aston Martin, but he is the one who's out, and Dirk Chocolate has decided to pit now, so he's made a decision to go for a new set of tyres. That's got to be fairly quick on his lap, though. Yeah.
Yeah, he is lapped, though, so does have the potential to make up a few positions. Only 3, realistically, he can make up. As now he's going to probably get lapped by Hayden Gullis.
And he does indeed. Hayden Gullis still trying to catch up to the safety car. They should be able to catch up by the end of the lap, I'd imagine. And I don't think we'll really be having many more laps of the safety car. This should really be the in-lap for Bernd Mailander's Aston Martin, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. And it's
Stefano would wish for this to carry on one more lap.
He really does, yep. It does. And that battery of his is going to come in very handy. But the tyres, not so handy. So we are in for a very spectacular last few laps here in Texas. And Rutanius, who looked like he was down and out with 5 or so laps to go, 20-odd seconds behind. And all of a sudden now he is in the best possible position to win this race. Safety car in this lap here in America. And it is going to come down to pretty much a quali-paced shootout in the closing stages of this race. This could be absolutely exceptional. Stefano will lead the line as they all head down towards the last couple of corners. And it is going to be incredible. Absolutely incredible, I'm sure.
Yes, indeed. Here we go. We wait for Stefano to choose where he goes. You'll have 2 laps to defend.
I think he's away.
So he'll have to make this count. No, it's not yet.
Oh, he looked like he was teasing it a little bit there. And now he decides to go. Stefano, we're back on the green flags. Oh, and there goes one of the Aston Martins. I think he was just letting everyone pass there. I think it may have exaggerated that one a little bit. I kind of forgot that he was a back marker. But Stefano trying to get the tyres warmed up as they head up towards turn 1. Stefano leads Rutanius. Rutanius with a little look up as he heads towards turn 1. How's the rest of the field doing? Bushy, Liam, Safso following behind Razin. But Hayden and Joe are following along as well. Joe in P9 as it stands, and Kunz unfortunately is lapped, so he's not really in much contention here. And Rutanius, I think, tried to make a move, and they are side by side. Rutanius and Stefano through the S section, and past the X section they go. Stefano on the right hand side, and look at Bushy right in the middle of the 2. This is brilliant battling, absolutely brilliant. 3-second time penalty is gifted out to Liam, and Stefano on the outside. Rutanius down the inside he goes.
There's contact between the 2.
Contact between the two, and Rutanius does take the lead of this race. Rutanius is back and winning this, but Stefano using up the battery. Down the inside he goes towards the hairpin, and is back in the lead of this race, is he? And he's gone deep. Rutanius has gone deep, and Stefano back in the lead. What a race we're having here.
That's a defense from Stefano.
And Bushy ants around the outside of that hairpin. And Rutanius, after looking like he might have got the position secure, Bushy now up to P1. Oh, this is absolutely fantastic. Oh my goodness, I am losing my voice right now. Bushy in the lead.
Wow.
Stefano is in big trouble.
He just sees the defender from these two behind, and he'll win this race because Bushy has 9 seconds.
There is no way he's gaining 9 seconds as we enter the final lap here in the Circuit of the Americas. And it has all come down to this. Rutanius looking up the inside towards turn 1. Oh, there's contact. And Stefano is round. Oh, my goodness. Oh, no. Oh, no. That is not the way you want it to end. And Safso is a passenger in all of it. Front wing damage galore on the exterior turn 1. And there's more contact up ahead as Liam and Joe fight their way through. And Stefano is out. Stefano is out. Oh my goodness.
Look where he is.
Hayden Gullis in P2, 3.94 seconds off of Bushy Ants right now. And Hayden has a 3-second penalty to Bushy's 9 seconds, sorry. So there is 6 seconds between them. And right now, the 4-second gap is what stands between them. Bushy needs to gain another 2 seconds to overtake Gullis on penalties right now. This is unbelievable.
This is insane.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Wow. Hayden Gullis out of nowhere in prime position to win this race.
Absolutely. And Bushy is not getting enough. But it looks like... Are we going to see an Alpine podium? I think the gap could well be big enough for an Alpine podium. We'll have to wait and see. As Bushy heads around the final corner, the gap is not big enough for Bushy to win this race. He's got the 9-second penalty. Bushy crosses the line to take the fastest lap, but will not win this race. Instead, out of nowhere, Hayden Gullis takes the win here in the first race of the Choco League. Liam in the Mercedes takes P2. Bushy does hold on to P3. It's a double Alpine podium out of absolutely nowhere. And Safso crossed the line P4, Bart in P5, Razin in P6. Didn't quite catch the end of the rest of that. But, oh my goodness, Evil. That was an unbelievable end to this race.
That was a race. Definitely that was a race. Wow, out of nowhere. Hayden Gullis. Wow, he definitely deserves to be driver of the day. Out of nowhere. He was out of contention for this win for this entire race and just comes out of nowhere to take it.
Unbelievable.
Fantastic.
Absolutely unbelievable here in Texas. Hayden Gullis, who was so far down the grid, finishes P1 here in Texas. And wow. Just wow. What can you say about that? I mean, the incidents that happened in those last couple of laps are certainly going to be looked at by the stewards respectively. But my goodness, that is some way to end this race, and what drama to do it in as well.
Yeah, that was just an amazing race.
Exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. So, there is your full grid for that race. What a race it was as well. Hayden Gullis takes the win from P9 on the grid. He was so far down, and then all of a sudden he was so far up. He takes his first win in the Choco League on the opening race. Liam in the Mercedes crosses the line P2. It's an double Alpine podium with Bushy finishing P3 and Safso in the Mercedes in P4. Those guys came out absolutely nowhere to take those positions. Rutanius finished P5 in the end after that contact with the McLaren of Stefano in the latter stages of the race. And Stefano did classify in P9 despite the fact that he did unfortunately crash out on the final lap. But in P6 then, Razin in P7 in the AlphaTauri, Average Joe in P9 in the Haas, and of course, like I said, Stefano in P9, and Kuntz picks up the only Aston Martin point. Destin and Dirt Chocolate are the last across the line to finish, as well as Marcus, who got classified too. Our only DNFs today then was Scars, Jamie, Mel's, Artem, Lil Carlos, Grande, Infratic, and Alex Budd. What an incredible race we have had here in the United States. Wow, I'm already excited for the second one. I've been your commentator, DatGuyVince Evil. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure, and what a race it has been. Well, that is going to be it for the stream today, and an unbelievable end to the race. Full credit to all the drivers for giving their all today. We'll be back with the Choco League next week at the same time on Saturday. You can see the entire schedule on the stream now for the rest of the leagues coming up in the coming days. I've been your host, DatGuyVince. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all very soon for more action.